Volley camera 1.
Quick slant out. And another incomplete pass intended to Jake Kenner.
Yeah. If you're the Eagles, you have to get up on this defensive play and force the quarterback to make an error.
Excellent. You got the ball in. Nicely done. 3-3. Go to 3.
By Bell. Bell breaks 2 tackles.
It's all you 3.
Bell's
Nicely
out.
done.
Oh,
he should have stayed
Stay there. Keep following them back 3.
Reminders, well, folks, tonight is being recorded by students from the Miami Valley Communications Council and Interactive Media Program from Centerville and Kettering Fairmont High Schools. If you'd like to watch rebroadcasts of tonight's game or any other game of the weeks, visit MVCC.net and watch and check the schedule for rebroadcasts of this or other games from throughout the season. Ladies and gentlemen, developed in 1985, the Spirit Chain is a fundraising competition between Centerville High School and Fairmont High School held every fall. Over the past 33 years, Spirit Chain has raised over $2.1 million for a variety of charities. We want to welcome the Fairmont Student Government, which is led by President Fabrice and advised by Mrs. Corey Miller. A big thank you also goes to the Class Council advisors, Taylin Fisher, Megan Dillon, Amber Brewer, Jenny Richardson, and the Kettering community for their continued support of Spirit Chain. Fairmont has selected 3 charities for this year's Spirit Chain: Kettering Backpack Program, Clothes That Work, and A Special Wish. The Kettering Backpack Program helps to sustain students' nutritional needs over the weekends by discreetly providing 600 at-risk students with a bag of food each Friday throughout the school year. 16 elementary and middle schools are served throughout this program. Clothes That Work will donate clothes, educate, and empower individuals to prepare them for employment success. And finally, A Special Wish is an Ohio organization dedicated to granting the wishes of children diagnosed as having life-threatening disorders. Joining them on the field is the Centerville Student Council, led by President Nikhil Desai and advised by Mr. Michael Dalton. The following senior class officers were also instrumental in the Spirit Chain activities: Ed Cooper, Sung Jong, Abdul Nasir, Simran Sarana, Lauren Bastian, Yasmin Sulati, Jacob Myers, Madison Ernest, and Peter Hall. The Elks will be donating their money this year to Cooperative for Education, Shoes for the Homeless, and BOGG, B-O-G-G. Since 1996, Cooperative for Education has worked to break the cycle of poverty in Guatemala through education. This money will be used to fund 3 children all the way through school in Guatemala. Shoes for the Shoeless has delivered well over 85,000 pairs of shoes and socks to disadvantaged children within the Dayton, Ohio region. Finally, through the BOGG organization, we will be providing funding for multiple local food pantries. The CHS Student Council would also like to recognize the winners of the annual Spirit King and Queen contest at Centerville High School. Spirit Queen co-winners Nicole Gardner and Amelia Adams raised over $22,000 between them. And Spirit King Jacob Atkinson raised over $4,000. We would also like to recognize other Spirit King and Queen candidates: Chris Haley, $1,000, Declan Cabin, $1,200, Megan Fahrenkamp, $1,700, Kylie Fries, $5,400, and Katie Josh and Radhika Agrawal, $6,500. The final total for this year for Centerville, $72,500. And for Fairmont, $88,034.92. Raised this year is over $160,500. Let's hear a big round of applause for both Kettering Fairmont High Schools and Centerville High School for all the money raised this year. Welcome to the Centerville High School's 2019 homecoming game. The sophomores, class of 2022, are the official sponsors of these activities, and they have been busy preparing for tomorrow night's dance that will be attended by over 1,500 students. The theme of Homecoming 2019 is Under the Sea. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank Voss Auto Group for providing transportation for the 2019 homecoming court to ride in style. We will now be introducing the students who make up this year's homecoming court. First, the freshman attendants are Cara DePietro and Lauren Toby. Cara DePietro is a South Unit student in Mrs. Carson's advisory. She is the daughter of Angel Carson and Vincent DePietro. Hannah has one sister, Natalie, who is a senior at Centerville High School. Cara is a member of the freshman basketball cheerleading squad, is a member of Forte a cappella, student council, and participates in track and field. Her favorite subject is math. Cara is being escorted by freshman Jude Rindler. Lauren Toby is a South Unit student in Mrs. Dankoff's advisory. She is the daughter of Tricia and Todd Toby. Lauren has three brothers, Shane, Nick, and Aaron. Lauren is a member of the freshman football cheerleading squad, the junior varsity basketball cheerleading squad, and participates in track and field. Her favorite subject is English. Lauren is being escorted by freshman Matthew Karpinski. Ladies and gentlemen, our freshman attendants, Cara DePietro and Lauren Toby. The sophomore attendants are Kenzie Gaydosh and Anna Kaufman. Kenzie Gaydosh is a West Unit student in Mr. Stacy's advisory. She is the daughter of Dawn and Andrew Gaydosh. Kenzie has two younger siblings, brother Drew and sister Danny. Kenzie is a member of the Lady Elk soccer team, Bold Club, and Student Athletes for Others Club. Her favorite subjects are biology and Spanish. Kenzie is being escorted by sophomore Keaton Hagan. Anna Kaufman is a West Unit student in Mr. Irwin's advisory. She is the daughter of Lori and Shannon Kaufman. Maddie has three brothers, Caleb, Lucas, and Isaac. Anna is the varsity softball pitcher for CHS and is a member of SAD Club and Bold Club. Her favorite subjects are math and science. Anna is being escorted by her twin, sophomore Caleb Kaufman. Ladies and gentlemen, your sophomore attendants, Kenzie Gaydosh and Anna Kaufman. The junior attendants are Amelia Berger and June Powell. Amelia Berger is a South Unit student in Mr. Rasich's advisory. She is the daughter of Karen and Tim Berger. Amelia has one sister, Lindsay. Amelia is a member of the girls' varsity golf team and lunch buddies. Her favorite subjects are math and history. Amelia is being escorted by junior Zach Baird. June Powell is a South Unit student in Mrs. Replogel's advisory. She is the daughter of Jacqueline and Mark Powell. June has two siblings, younger brother Archer and younger sister Winnie. June is a member of the cheerleading squad, student council, French Honor Society, lunch buddies, Octagon Club, High Club, and is an officer for the French Club. Her favorite subject is English. June is being escorted by junior Jack Mikesell. Ladies and gentlemen, our junior attendants, Amelia Berger and June Powell. And now, the Senior Homecoming 2019 King and Queen Court. Three of our King candidates are busy preparing for tonight's game with the football team. They are Kyle Hurls, Caleb Miller, and Connor Walls. Kyle Hurls is a South Unit student in Mrs. Daly's advisory. He is the son of Robin and Doug Hurls. Kyle has one younger sister, Lucy. Kyle is a member of Lunch Buddies, has played basketball, and is on the football team. His favorite subject is math. Connor Walls is a West Unit student in Mrs. Kent's advisory. He is the son of Nicole and Doug Walls. Connor has three siblings, brothers Logan and Jack, and sister Grace. Connor is a four-year member of the Centerville High School football team and is in the broadcast management block. His favorite subject is history. Caleb Miller is a South Unit student in Mr. Taylor's advisory and is the son of Shawneen Spence. Caleb has four siblings, older brother Curtis, and younger sisters Carson, Kirsten, and Camilla. Caleb has been a member of the football team all 4 years of high school and was honored as the Defensive Line of the Week during his senior year. His favorite subject is history. Our first Queen candidate is Heather Murray, escorted by King candidate Jacob Atkinson. Heather Murray is a West Unit student in Mrs. Cameron's advisory. She is the daughter of Marie and Dave Murray. Heather has two siblings, brother Justin and sister Elise. Heather is the National Honor Society president, a member of Octagon Club, cheerleading, Pi Club, and Science Olympiad. She also is an officer of the French Club, a member of French Honor Society, and Elk Connectors. Her favorite subjects are science and math. Jacob Atkinson is a South Unit student in Mrs. Monahan's advisory. He is the son of Tracy and Jake Atkinson. Jacob has 5 siblings, brothers Dylan, Owen, and Shane, and sisters Destiny and Devon. Jacob is a member of DECA, is a herd leader, and member of Spirit Chain. His favorite subject is marketing. Jacob is this year's Spirit King and raised $4,926 for this year's competition. Ladies and gentlemen, Heather Murray and Jacob Atkinson. Our next Queen candidate is Sydney DeAnthony, escorted by senior Alexander Taylor. Sydney DeAnthony is a West Unit student in Mr. Brandenberry's advisory. She is the daughter of Amy DeAnthony. Maddie has 3 sisters, Savannah, Lily, and Sophia. Sydney has been a member of cheerleading and co-ed squads. She works part-time at Soft Touch Car Wash. Her favorite subject is creative foods. Ladies and gentlemen, Sydney DeAnthony. Our next Queen candidate is Ella Sneed, escorted by junior Zach Horowitz. Ella Sneed is a South Unit student in Mrs. Shaw's advisory. She is the daughter of Carla and Jeff Sneed. Ella has 1 older brother, Jake. Ella is a National Honor Society officer, vice president of the Pi Club, and is a member of Lunch Buddies, Elk Connectors, Bold Club, HOSA, and Chem Buddies. She is also a member of the German Honor Society, exercise science, and a member of the track and field and swimming teams. Her favorite subject is chemistry. Ladies and gentlemen, Ella Sneed. Our next Queen candidate is Chloe Spittler, escorted by senior Ryan Forino. Chloe Spittler is a South Unit student in Mrs. Shaw's advisory. She is the daughter of Nina and Matt. Chloe has 3 siblings, brother Griffin, and sisters Jamie and Morgan. Chloe is a member of the Centerville girls varsity soccer team, Lunch Buddies, Elk Connectors, and is in the Business Academy block. Her favorite subject is science. Ladies and gentlemen, Chloe Spittler. The 2019 Centerville High School Homecoming King was announced at the pep rally this afternoon. Congratulations again goes to Kyle Hurls. We will crown the 2019 Homecoming Queen at halftime.
Hello, this is Jeff Allen here with Fairmont's head coach, Dave Miller, and I got a few questions for you, Coach. First of all, let's start off with, you're coming off a hard-fought win in Miamisburg last week where you guys executed well, but still had an uncomfortable finish. How was the environment in practice this week?
Good, same as always. These guys have done a really good job, all year, coming back week to week and just, restart button and trying to get better. So that's what we had. So they were pretty jacked up, it was a hard-fought win. We finished some drives. It doesn't have to be as close as it is, but Miamisburg came after us, and it was a game. So,
well, for sure, it was a close one. And obviously, knowing what this game means to both programs, do you feel like the team has the same sense of what this game means to the program in itself?
I think so. Yeah, I think they're focused and ready to go, and they know what it is. Yeah, absolutely.
And this matchup has created a lot of classic games in the past, but for the most part, Centerville really owning the matchup, and even it's been a hard hump for you to hurdle in the past few weeks. How do you plan, in the past few years, to kind of change the tide?
Well, you just have to go out and you have to execute. You have to play hard for 48 minutes, and there's nothing. There's no magic bullet, or anything like that. You just have to play better. I mean, they're good. They've got a tradition, behind them, and they're continuing that. So, but our guys, they work hard. So that's all we can ask them to do, and they'll be ready to play.
Thank you so much, Coach Miller. Fundamental as always. Jeff Allen here with Centerville head coach Brent Ulrey, and I got a few questions for you, Coach. Last week, you're coming off an impressive, really exciting win over longtime conference rival Wayne. How was the environment in practice this week?
Last week had no factor in how we're going to practice this week. Fairmont's a great team. It's a great rivalry, and there's always heightened intensity when you have a great rivalry.
For sure, and I talked to Coach Miller about what this rivalry meant to both programs. Do you feel like this team has a really good feeling of it?
Sure. We brought in some alumni this week to kind of explain it to them, teach them a little bit about it, and they've been around long enough. They know what their job is, and their job is to uphold a tradition.
For sure. And last question real quick, coming off of a four-game winning streak, and you guys are really starting to perfect the concepts you want to. Do you feel like this team stacks up against the legendary Centerville teams of the past?
That only time will tell that. We're just trying to get better rep by rep, day by day, week by week. So today's another day, and we got a few more reps today to see if we can get better.
Yes, sir. Still have some good young players. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
We're Fairmont Firebird cheerleaders, and you're watching the MVCC Game of the Week. We're the Centerville Elks cheerleaders, and you're watching the MVCC Game of the Week. Let's go!
Hello and welcome to Centerville High School Stadium for tonight's MVCC Game of the Week for week number 7, presented by City Barbecue. It's a G-Walk American showdown as the 1-5 Fairmont Firebirds take on the 4-2 Centerville Elks. Jared Bergstrom and Jeff Allen bringing you tonight's game. Quick recap from last week, Jeff. Why don't you tell us what happened to the Fairmont Firebirds?
Well, Jared, Fairmont outlasted the Vikings in a barn burner 14-7. The Firebirds exercised their triple option with precision, controlling the clock for most of the game. They also completed their second and third passes of the entire season on 2 different play-action bombs, catching the Vikings completely asleep while expecting the run. Dave Miller has always had a knack for timing trick plays perfectly, but last week it was nearly flawless, as the trick plays ended up being the only 2 scores Fairmont needed to win against Miamisburg and combat their major fumbling issues. And Jared, how about the Centerville Elks?
Last week, the Elks continued their success and extended their winning streak to 4 with an impressive win against longtime rival, the Wayne Warriors, 27-21. The game lived up to the history of the rivalry with a great defense outing from both teams and electrifying plays from the offense. The Elks jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead by the end of the first, but couldn't stop the Wayne train. Wayne ended up tying the game late, but the Elks scored on a last-second touchdown to beat the Warriors 27-21. Jeff, why don't you go ahead and introduce us to Fairmont's head coach, Dave Miller.
Well, Jared, Dave Miller has been at the leader of the Fairmont Firebirds for 4 seasons now. This is his 4th, and he used to be Covington head coach from 2007 to 2015. He was also a former Twin Valley South head coach as well, and he won the 2017 OHSAA Division I Coach of the Year while coaching for Fairmont a couple years ago, and comes into this game with an excellent overall record of 141-67. Wow, and Jared, how about the Centerville Elks head coach on that other side?
The Elks have found a phenomenal head coach and somebody that used to be a former player here, Brent Ulrey. He's getting ready. He's halfway through his 3rd season. He's a former Dublin Jerome assistant coach. Like I said, 2003 Centerville graduate and an overall record of 16-12. But he did have a 10-0 season his first season here. Jeff, what has to happen for the Firebirds to try and come out on top tonight?
Well, in my opinion, Jared, and let's start with the Fairmont offense. No fumbles, and I would have put more exclamation marks, but I felt like it would have been unnecessary to a point. But last week they had huge issues, and as you know, with the triple option, you have a lot of pitches. The ball is being transferred a lot in that backfield, and that's very important to hold on to the ball at every opportunity. Also, they definitely need to keep third down manageable. That's an obvious one with the triple option. Most of the third down conversions come on sweeps and pitches, and so definitely keeping those 3rd and 4 to 3rd and 6s. At least you cannot get it past 6 yards, or you're going to have to pull something out of the bag, in my opinion. And also, Jared, their offensive line needs to get the better push. We saw it last week in Miamisburg, beating them off the first step. And if they can do that, they really dominate this game. They drain the clock, and they limit the opportunities for the Centerville offense that is so deadly. They really need to keep them off the field. And let's talk about the Fairmont defense now. What they need to do, definitely limit big plays. They have to stifle this prodigy. Chase Harrison is a huge prospect for Centerville. And they also need to react quicker to the running plays, no doubt. They're going to be in a 3-4 tonight. They have a lot of spacing on their defense reacting to the spread offense, so their linebackers are going to have to come downhill quickly and cover up those lanes. And also, no dumb penalties. You cannot have that. That's an obvious one, but in high school, you have to say it. It's definitely something you have to do, especially with a team as talented as Centerville. And Jared, what has to happen for the Elks to extend their winning streak tonight to 5?
First off, for Centerville, for the offense, Centerville has to utilize the slot passing lanes tonight. Like you said, Fairmont's going to play in the 3-4 predominantly mostly. And last week, Braden Barr from Miamisburg was able to execute a little bit, but not. I don't think he'll be able to execute as well as Chase Harrison probably will tonight. They changes at the line of scrimmage. Fairmont is going to run predominantly the same defense formation. All Chase Harrison has to do is change blocking assignments, audibles at the line, and you could really mess up this Firebirds defense and win the time of possession battle. Fairmont has predominantly won the time of possession battle under Miller for his 4 years, averaging almost 30 minutes a game, holding on to the ball throughout the game. If Centerville can hold on to the ball for a little bit and take some time off the clock, you're going to stifle Fairmont's momentum and basically their whole offense.
Literally, you got it right, Jared.
Defense, you got to force turnovers. Last week, Fairmont fumbled it, I think, 3 times last week, so Fairmont is fumble prone. We'll see if Tank Gant worked on that in practice this week. Also, you got no penalties that keep the drive alive for the Firebirds. I don't know how many times last week the Vikings would have the step and then they would do something dumb after the play, like taunting or standing over a player over a tackle. Don't do that tonight. If not, you'll keep the Firebirds on the field, which they want. I mean, Fairmont can take almost a whole quarter to make one drive, and we've seen it before, and we could see it tonight. And I'm not going to say it, or defense now, I mean, you got to force the turnovers, no penalty, and then you got to watch out for the pass. Fairmont surprised Miamisburg with 2 passing touchdowns that ended up deciding the game last week. Fairmont, such a big rivalry in this one, big outcome in this game. If Fairmont wants to try and stay in this game, I think they might have to pull that out tonight. And who are some players to watch for you tonight, Jeff?
Well, I'm going to go with Ethan Somm for Fairmont. Last week, it's a really breakout player to watch, especially for Fairmont. Their defensive backs don't get a lot of attention, but they have held up the last few years. They've had Ryan Hall, and they've had some excellent safeties. But this year, coming in with a young group, Ethan Somm executed on 2 different interceptions, his first 2 picks of his high school career last week. And so I think if he comes up big against this Centerville passing game and stops Will Jackson Linkart, this could be a really different game than we're used to. And Jared, for Centerville, I'm going to go with their passing game, but I'm not going to go with the guy with 500 yards and 9 touchdowns. I'm going to go with the slot receiver because he is going to come up against those linebackers. They're obviously going to put another corner on him, but he is going to have the chance to break open this game and really cap it off for the Elks. And Jared, what about you? Who are your players to watch for this game?
I'm going to go ahead and for Fairmont, I'm going to take the quarterback Malik Hillen. I know Fairmont doesn't pass it much, but we saw that last drive Fairmont had before the fumble. He precisionally led them down the field like a surgeon.
And Jared, you went with the young sophomore field general for Fairmont. Who is your player to watch for Centerville, though?
I'm gonna keep it with the quarterbacks. Chase Harrison. He comes in. He has almost 1,500 passing yards coming into tonight's game. 19 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He is highly sought after for a lot
Phenomenal.
of D1 local prospects. I think if he's going to be the key to victory tonight for the Elks if they're going to win. Now, time to predict the win. Who do you think is going to win tonight's game and why, Jeff?
Well, Jared, personally, I'm going to go with Centerville. The Elks have been phenomenal in these past 4 games. In the first 2 games, they faced really high-level competition. And I think Chase Harrison needs those kinds of games to develop his skills. He is definitely a surefire D1 quarterback, and we're seeing the beginning of his career. We really get to see him blossom. I think tonight's going to be a signature win for him, another one on his young career. And I think Centerville's passing attack is going to be way too much for Fairmont's 3-4 defense, who's accustomed to the run. And Jared, who is your prediction to win it all tonight?
I'm going to disagree with you, and I'm going to pick the Fairmont Firebirds. I know Fairmont hasn't beat them in 20. This is going on 21 years and all that, but Fairmont's only 1-5. The records don't matter in this game. It's such a huge rivalry, not just in GWalk, but probably in the state. Some factors of weather could happen tonight, and if it starts to rain, Centerville, it's hard to pass the ball in the rain. If the weather comes into factor, I think the Firebirds can maybe hold on to this one and maybe squeak out a win and maybe surprise these Elks here on homecoming night.
Well, it's going to be an entertaining night and a beautiful night for football, barring the rain here at Centerville Stadium, and we will get this classic matchup started off with the kickoff for Fairmont. Centerville will be receiving. Here we go, Jared. Nearly flawless weather in this one.
Fielded at about the 5, and he's out across the 25 up to about the 30. I did not see who returned it for the Elks.
So here we go. This will bring out the sophomore phenom for Centerville, the younger brother of former Centerville quarterback Jake Harrison, Chase. And he will be at the helm of this spread offense, and you can see, Jared, they're already coming out with trips, challenging Fairmont. And you see Elvin Overholzer on the top of your screen, lined up against the receiver.
He's going to throw it out of the backfield to McMahon. Fairmont comes up and does make the tackle for only about a gain of 2 on the play. Looks like maybe Trey Baker was in there first for the Firebirds. Someone you have sought after. I mean, he's an excellent player over the past 4 years. This is his final season.
Yeah, Division I prospect. This is his last game against Centerville, and I have a feeling he's going to make the most out of it, Jared. I think he is going to be an animal sideline to sideline tonight, and he could very well determine how this game turns out.
Right, because he does come in and run it a few times. We could see him come in, and maybe he runs for the game-winning touchdown tonight. Who knows?
He's also the general in the middle of the field for this Fairmont D, and they'll definitely throw a few different blitz packages at Chase Harrison tonight.
Harrison has the receiver come in, hands off to McMahon. McMahon powers through, and he'll be close to the first down, but it'll be 3rd and about 1.
And you see Centerville already taking advantage of that more rather soft Fairmont secondary. They have really been tested this season. Although their defense has been excellent, Jared, but they really haven't seen an animal like Centerville quite yet.
I think Fairmont's. I think they're going to let you have the runs up the middle tonight, but I think they're going to focus on the outside and the receivers. And Centerville is going to line up with 2 running backs in the backfield. Not something we've seen from the game we covered earlier this year. McMahon will get the carry. He will have the first, or he'll be out close to another first down.
And see, this is what they can't do, Jared. You cannot let Centerville run the ball on you. I'm not going to say it's exactly their weak suit. They're averaging 155 rushing yards a game, which is 5th in the entire conference. But still, you have to stop that aspect. We know that they're not going to stop the passing game as effectively as they should. So this is where you win the game. Those little battles, and we'll see Harrison lined up again.
McMahon's going to go out. Harrison's going to tuck it, and he's going to actually throw it out backwards to McMahon. He'll have the first down across the 50.
And beautiful backwards motion from that throw from Harrison.
And that's something that Fairmont's going to have to watch out for. I mean, only has 78 rushing yards coming into the game tonight for Harrison, but he can tuck it and run and get the first down when he needs to.
Yeah, has 3 touchdowns on the year already, averaging about 4 yards a rush. It's definitely very athletic, great footwork. You can't let them utilize Bryce McMahon like that. You're already seeing them very often. Almost every single play they have targeted Bryce McMahon, either on a run or a pass.
And they're going to go back to that 2 running backs in the backfield again. McMahon's going to get the carry. He has the carry to the outside, and he'll be close to the 40, about the 43 actually.
And getting 5 yards already. This is definitely something Dave Miller is looking at and is going to adjust to at halftime. But early on, moving the tight end Connor Wallace to fullback and literally running the same plays back to back. The only difference is that one had some read option motion behind it.
2nd and 6 from the 44.
You see Walls is back in that tight end position. McMahon lined up behind Harrison in the gun.
Harrison's going to hand it off to McMahon. No, he actually kept it that time. Fairmont keeps him right in the middle of the field and only gains about 2. So heads up by the Firebird defense there to realize that it was a read option.
Yeah, and you saw Zach Snodgrass, number 34, come off the edge, staying home, allowing Harrison to plow into the captain, number 42, Trey Baker.
Now it's third down, Centerville's first third down tonight. Let's see if Fairmont steps up a little bit here on defense, as Harrison's going to go solo in the backfield, 4 wide. Or he's going to go 5 wide, actually.
This is where Centerville can kill him right now, Jared. With that 5 wide set, they're not used to seeing this.
Fairmont's going to come out with a blitz. Harrison rolls to the left, throws it in the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. And the Firebird defense holds up on third down.
They're not going to call a flag, Jared. I think Will Jackson Linkart had some confusion on the play. You saw him downfield almost
He was
blocking.
Yeah. I don't know if he thought Harrison was going to tuck and run, and it looked like Harrison could have been close, but it didn't. And it looks like the Elks are going to keep their offense on the field for this fourth down.
We have seen some drop punts, but this does not look like one of those, Jared.
No, not in this rivalry. You got to go for it when you can. Fairmont trying to time the jump.
That was questionable right there, Jared.
And an encroachment's going to give Centerville the first down for free, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
And nearly by inches, and you cannot simply make that mistake. You have one of the best offenses in your entire conference pinned on 4th and 4 in good field position. You cannot do anything like that. I know Miller has to be frustrated at the seams.
I saw him jump up and down when the defense, you saw, I think it was Baker or Overholsel coming off the sideline or off the edge. They tried to time the snap count perfectly, and they were just moved a tad too soon. And McMahon gets a carry up the middle. McMahon will have a first down run at the 20-15, down inside the 10 to about the 8. And McMahon putting the team on his back this drive.
How about the Centerville offensive line getting up, pushing the linebackers out of the way?
And they're going to go quick. McMahon gets the carry to the outside, cuts it back in, and he's tackled at about the 7.
So a good job trying to catch Fairmont off guard with the up-tempo offense, but an even better job off the edge, Evan Overholser with the pursuit, stopping Centerville's first play of the goal line stand.
You see McMahon's gashing run there. I mean, he made people miss, and he went untouched till about the 10.
For sure, and that play would have been stopped early hadn't the Centerville offensive line. I feel like it was 58. He got the lead block on Trey Baker and just cleared the middle out.
2nd and goal from the 8, approaching 7.5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Connor Walls lined up right in front of McMahon. Smith in motion.
He got the pitch, and Smith will be down to about the 4. So another third down opportunity here for the Firebirds and the Elks. It'll be 3rd and about 4 from the 4-yard line.
That was a good sweep, Jared. Just a little crowded. But you see the player to watch for me, Cameron Smith, already getting involved in a jet sweep. He has 4 rushes before that this year. Already has 350 yards and 5 touchdowns. So.
I think, to be honest, I think Wells was in the way there. I don't think
Walls?
I don't think he was needed there for a block, because I think
he drew more traffic.
Yeah.
In. So Harrison gets a snap.
Harrison's going to fake the handoff, throws it to the sideline, and left wide open at the touch, and it will be in for a touchdown. That is number 1,
Connor Walls, and we've already seen him get 3 touchdowns before this game. This season has been a weapon. He is also an edge rusher for the Centerville Elks as well, and just a captain.
So Walls with the receiving touchdown there.
And he's just an all-around player. And you see Trey Baker.
I thought Baker was going to come up and make the stop, but he was just playing off a little bit too much.
Yeah, he didn't quite get there fast enough. You see the pursuit, but how about Walls taking on that tank shoulder to shoulder?
Kick is up, and kick is good for the Elks, and they lead 7-0 here early in our MVCC game of the week for week number 7. So now, how do the Firebirds respond offensively?
I don't know, Jared. They're definitely going to try to draw down the clock, and if I know anything about Dave Miller, he is going to stick to his fundamentals right here. Try to pound the Centerville Elks defense into the ground with this triple option. And I think this drive will truly tell how this game is going to go, Jared.
Fairmont needs to answer back with a touchdown here And we're probably going to see it. Fairmont is probably going to lull the Elks to sleep on this drive.
And it doesn't need to be anything exciting. 6-yard run after 6-yard run, and that's exactly how Fairmont wins the games.
Or is Malik Hillen going to pull out an 85-yard touchdown pass like he did last week, surprise everybody?
Well, I think one of the people that was watching that game and rewatched it a lot this week was Brent Ulrich, and I don't think he is going to allow no 85-yard touchdown. I feel like he has prepared his linebackers, Jonathan Bruder, Connor Walls. I feel like he's prepared them very well for what's about to happen. So we will see. We were on the sidelines talking before the game, and we were talking to someone from Centerville, and he said a guy who was coming back is going to be Logan Brown. He was been out. He played a little last season, but he's going to be, we saw him in on the last drive as a receiver at times, and he was also a kicker. He was replacing Brendan Salo.
Baker fields it at about the 20. Baker cuts it back up. He's at the 30, and he gets out to the 40. And I want to take a look at this replay. I believe Trey Baker called for the fair catch signal at the 20. That's something the refs might have missed.
Rumble, young man, rumble. He was slicing through the return defense there. Well, with that big frame doesn't come a lot of breakaway speed. And you see Miller. He is telling him something, that's for sure. But nonetheless,
hold on to the ball, kid.
The Fairmont offense will come back out in basic set. You got Wright and Thompson on the edges.
And
Gant
behind him.
And they will bring out one receiver to kind of spread out the defense occasionally, and you see that here.
I believe that's Ethan Salm.
Ethan Salm or another go-to guy. Nathan Long.
Thompson goes in motion. Hillen keeps it. Hillen fakes the pitch. Gets across the 40 for about a gain of 3.
And a beautiful fake read, but at the end of the day, Centerville has done a lot of homework, and you see one of their key players right there, Jonathan Bruder, who I think is personally the best player on that entire defense. He already has 50 tackles this year and 4 sacks. Has really been a player to watch and an X factor on that defense. He's already making a big play there.
Centerville looks confused on defense, and Centerville is forced to call a timeout.
So you see a confusion on both sides there. As last second, there was a guy running off the field for Fairmont. Also some confusion on the Centerville side, but they will charge Centerville with the timeout.
So, I mean, that read option, that was a good way to start the drive for the Firebirds and start the game. I mean, Hillen he did it perfectly. He had the defender, which you got to guard for the read option, go to Chris Thompson in the pitch, and he just faked it perfectly. There was two other. I think Bruder had the tackle. He was just right there behind the guy.
Yeah, Bruder read him the entire time, and this kid has quick feet. He has been a returner for the past couple years, and Jonathan Bruder is really an all-around linebacker too. This kid's one of the best players on this entire team.
So out of the Centerville timeout now, Fairmont comes out rather late, and they're going to send a receiver to the top, but almost, as we say, it's just a decoy.
Yeah, it's Nathan Long. They've had him a lot out on the receiving end this season. They got a tight end, the 2 wide receivers on the edge, and Gant behind Hillen once again.
Hillen's going to go back to pass. Hillen throwing it out to the sideline, and it is
hauled. Oh, my goodness. Garrett Baker.
Baker with the touchdown, a 42-yard touchdown catch and run for the Firebirds. And we were just talking about that. Fairmont coming out, pulling out all the stops. This is basically what each week Fairmont's playing for, to surprise and spoil playoff teams. And Fairmont doing it right here with a surprise aerial attack from Malik Hillen.
And Garrett Baker, he caught the first touchdown pass of the season for Fairmont, and he catches another one there, his second reception and second touchdown of the season, Jared. I'm nearly speechless. Oh, my goodness. And we are up here in the press box, and you heard Centerville coaches scream pass at the top of their lungs. They've been preparing for this all week. They saw the Miamisburg tape. They knew that Fairmont was going to pull stuff out of their butt. And Dave Miller once again shocks an entire crowd of people. And I was just saying in the intro how he has a knack for timing trick plays, and we see it once again. What a master of surprise.
Will Holt with the extra point there is good to tie this game up at 7. And now something that the Firebirds have really executed well over the past couple of years is the onside kick. Fairmont Miller, I have seen him do this numerous times. They'll in a game that they're trying to steal a possession, they will come out and do an onside kick, or at least set up and read it to see what Centerville's going to give them. I'm not going to say the onside kick is not out of the question here for the Firebirds. Miller knows how important this game is, and he wants to win this game for the first time as a Fairmont coach. We'll see.
It'll definitely be a shocker, and this side of the stadium will be gasping. And wow, what an exciting game already, Jared.
Not even just under 6 minutes left in the game, or in the quarter, and it's tied up, and Fairmont has more passing yards than Centerville in the game so far.
Who could have called that? I bet that was not an over-under that a lot of people took. And you saw the Centerville Elks hesitate real quick. And
if you're going to look, I mean, Centerville only has 2 down here at the bottom of the 50.
A few weeks ago, you actually questioned why they did that, and I think now we see a perfect example.
Fielded at about the 7.
That is Nick Toby.
And he breaks 2 tackles, breaks a third, cuts it back out, but he'll be tackled at about the 28.
Excuse me, that's actually Nick Mead, the junior wide receiver, but already having some fireworks in this one. Oh, my goodness. And you got to think that Centerville was preparing for that. And you saw Keon Wright go out on the pass, but they do it the complete opposite side.
I think they were focusing on Wright because he's the one who's caught 2 out of 3 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, and both times it was a running back. It was not a wide receiver or a tight end, but this time they have the tight end at the edge of the line, send him straight out on a streak.
I didn't even see Baker on the field when they came out of the huddle, so I was definitely surprised.
Perfect execution.
Harrison's going to roll to the right. He's going to throw it out to, I believe that is number 3, Cameron Smith. And he is tackled right at the line of scrimmage by a slew of Firebirds.
And, Jared, they're focusing heavily on Connor Walls and Will Jackson Linkhart and the returning Logan Brown. So I really think that's why I made this guy my player to watch. I think he has to prosper in that slot spot if Centerville wants to have a good chance tonight.
And that's something we talked about. I mean, slot receiver is going to be huge tonight no matter who's lined up in it.
Yeah, you see Overholzer over top of Smith right now. Not really a coverage linebacker either.
And they're going to throw it out to Smith again. Overholzer comes up and makes the tackle, and it'll be out to about the 34-yard line.
And again, we keep talking about how it is so prominent as Cam Smith's gold chain glistens in the light. But that slot position, you saw Evan Overholzer over there, not a coverage linebacker, as I just said. They throw a little bubble screen. Overholzer isn't able to move his feet quick enough to get back there and disturb it.
And here it's 3rd and 6 already for the Elks. Something Fairmont, I don't think they wanted to really get into, is a long third down here.
You see Overholzer faking the blitz, going back.
McMahon's going out. Fairmont's going to bring a late blitz. Fairmont almost gets home on the blitz. Flag comes in, and
that could be bad for the Elks.
An incomplete pass. A flag on the play, but if it's anything against Centerville, I think Fairmont's going to decline this for 4th down.
Easily. They're going to see what they're going to do on 4th.
So it is holding. It's holding against Centerville.
And they declined it. And Centerville is not twitching, Jared.
And Centerville quickly sends the punting unit out there.
Got you. And this is a dream scenario for Fairmont. They evened up the game at 7-7. I don't think Coach Miller, in my personal opinion, was planning to do that on the first drive. I think he whipped it out as soon as Centerville scored and was like, yes, I'm going to do this. And set it up perfectly.
And that might not be the last time we see it tonight either.
For sure, Jared. And he's definitely going to shake it up, but you're right. We definitely could see another pass attempt. You see Cam Smith, I believe, on the punt.
A high punt that barely gets to gets across midfield. Baker calls a fair catch for it at about the 44, 45-yard line. And Fairmont will have excellent starting field position again for this drive.
For sure, but may I comment on the composure on that punt return? He is in the slew of Centerville Elks defenders and just catches it like there's nobody around. Trey Baker, the linebacker, on the punt return. And this will bring out the recently exhilarating Fairmont offense. This is a new look for them. 3 passing touchdowns in the past 2 games. And I think this is what Chris Weaver, the athletic director, envisioned when he hired Dave Miller. This game right here, the way it's set up, if they execute the game, I think it's really favoring Fairmont so far, Jared.
Pitch out to Gant. Gant cuts it back out, and the play is blown dead. Late flag to come in and blow that one dead.
It's a false start. And they were reading it all the way, as you saw, like it.
And that looked like quite a few of the offensive linemen false started on there, so it's hard to pinpoint on which one. But 1st and 15 is not what Fairmont wants. I mean, sometimes it's hard for them to get the 10 yards in 3 plays. Now you got to add an extra 5.
Yeah, and they've ran that play in that particular formation a couple times this year, where they have an unorthodox formation, put tight end heavy on the right side and run a toss. And Centerville looked like they read it perfectly. They're the same formation here.
Gant, they're going to do it again. Gant gets to the outside, and he will be up close to the original line of scrimmage. So I think if you're Fairmont, you can take that as a win.
I'm blown away by Miller's confidence, Jared.
And actually, he's +1 on the yardage. It's 2nd and 9.
And we can hear the defensive coordinators in the other room calling a toss when they look at the formation. And so you can only imagine how the players are. They've been studying this stuff all week.
Yeah, all week studying the film, and then when it comes time to it and you let that happen, you're going to get chewed out in practice this week.
And great pulls by the Fairmont guards, and what tenacity by the offensive line to run the exact same play.
What we talked about, get up, get the better push off the line.
So a custom Fairmont formation.
Play clock's down to 2. Fairmont has got to hurry. They just get it off. Hillen's going to keep it. Pitches it out. I believe that's right.
Keon Wright.
Right, stiff arms twice, breaks another tackle, and he will be close to a 1st down.
Excellent perseverance.
And it's actually going to be 3rd and about inches here coming up. And 2 plays ago, Fairmont was 1st and 15. We thought the drive was almost over. And here it's 3rd and 1.
We're starting to see a new Fairmont Firebirds team as this season develops, Jared. They are getting exponentially better every week. And what do you know? 3rd and 1, and here comes Trey Baker.
Not Tank, but in comes the Tank, Trey Baker.
They use this guy as a battering ram in short yardage situations over and over again. And what play design last time, moving Chris Thompson over to that side, handing it off to Keon Wright.
And they're going to give Fairmont the 1st down. The refs huddled up in questionable spot, but I know Dave will take that one.
You don't see that often in high school football, Jared. Usually the call is the call.
Right, and there's no way to review it like you can in college and NFL. So, I mean, I thought he was about a yard short, it looked like. But
yeah, I guess the line judge disagreed.
We're not down on the field wearing the stripes.
For sure.
So, 1st down run that time by Keon Wright.
This game is shocking so far, Jared. As you said, records do not matter.
No. And that proved in last year. Centerville came into the game 0-6, I believe, in the game and ended up coming out on top. And Tank gets the carry, and he'll gain about 2 or 3 on the play. And his 2nd carry of the game, and you're happy to see he still has the ball in his hand when he came up.
For sure. Already 4 fumbles so far this year, 2 last week. But you gotta say he has been running really well this year as a 1st-year running back coming into this system, which is so run dominant. He has 500 yards already with a touchdown. He has been the workhorse for this Fairmont defense, for Fairmont offense. Excuse me, taking the direct place of Jesse DeGlow.
You said defense. I'd like to see him get out there and hit somebody coming full force coming at the ball. That could be interesting. Maybe we can see that next season.
So tight end, 2 running backs lined up on the same
Gant's
side.
going to get the pitch out. Gant cuts it back in. He's across the 40, and he will have enough for a 1st down for the Firebirds.
And so far, Jared, as you see on the MVCC Game of the Week, Fairmont's dominating the 1st step. You saw Jonathan Bruder follow Malik Hillen on that 1st play and hit him really hard. But other than that, we haven't seen a lot of quick reaction from these Centerville linebackers. Either that or the offensive line is getting up to the 2nd level and hitting the right guys.
1st and 10 at the 36 for the Firebirds, looking to go up for the first time on the Elks tonight.
As the clock ticks, Miller's grin grows slightly bigger. Taking time, receiving direction.
Play clock's down to 3, and Miller's running up, and I think Miller's going to call a timeout, and he does. Minute 40 left in the first quarter. Fairmont driving.
Definitely looked like a lack of communication there. But so far, Jared, Miller controlling this game. He's forcing Centerville into third downs, uncomfortable third downs, uncomfortable fourth down situations. He's winning in the secondary. No big plays allowed so far. This is what you envision when you see this game.
And Fairmont still has more passing yards than Centerville. I'm going to throw that out there every time I get. I mean, who would have thought that at almost end of the first quarter that Centerville would have fewer passing yards than Fairmont?
And Centerville has passed it multiple times.
Right, Fairmont
has passed
just
it
once.
That is crazy, but that's what you deal with when you deal with this team.
Mm-hmm.
You never know when they're going to pass it, and that's one of the dangerous parts. But the good thing about the pass is now that they've gotten that out the way, they got the big play. Centerville's going to be thinking about that for the rest of the game. Watch how the linebackers react.
And I think that's also why Miller pulled it out so early. He's just put that in the back of the thought of Brent Ullery and the defense for the Elks.
Thompson in motion.
Gant gets the carry. Gant over or across the 35 down to about the 32. So it'll be second and about 7.
Every single time you get a 4 or a 5 yard run, most teams are mundane, but Fairmont is clapping because they
these
know
are Fairmont's body blows.
Yes.
I mean it's a 12-round boxing match, and Fairmont's just going to keep landing these body blows night or play after play.
Yeah, and you see the clouds finally catching up here at Centerville Stadium. A slight drizzle on the field, and this is going to work towards Fairmont's advantage. We talked about this earlier, Jared, and this could very well be the night of the Firebird. Nonetheless, Centerville ready to take on this triple option.
Hillen's going to keep the carry. He's going to run right up the middle, and he might actually lose a yard on the play.
Yeah, I think they might have called it a little too early.
Maybe a gain of 1, maybe. They're going to keep it 3rd and 6, and Fairmont will have to hike it one more time before.
Great stop by that defensive line.
And now this comes up. I mean, Fairmont has to hike it, and now you want to at least try and get into some manageable, maybe a cusp of field goal range here, maybe for Will Holt.
And don't gasp, Jared, but Firebirds are coming on with 2 wide receivers on the field. We'll not see that one a lot. And here we go, triple option. Malik Hillen does not even fake it. He goes up straight up the lane that his lineman created.
And that will be a first down run for the Firebirds. 3.8 seconds left on the clock, and Fairmont's going to let it go down. End of the first quarter here in Centerville. Fairmont and Centerville tied at 7. Fairmont driving, looking to add more to their score. What stood out to you in that first quarter, Jeff?
I mean, what didn't stand out to me, Jared? Fairmont has been playing a phenomenal game. They have been controlling it from the time they got the ball. As soon as that touchdown happened, after that, they have been running how this game goes. And I think that's what captures me right there is the fact that I was anticipating that Chase Harrison was going to control the pace of this game. He was going to bring Fairmont to his pace. The defense was going to stifle the triple option, but it has been anything but that. Centerville hasn't been able to get their receivers involved. Bryce McMahon has been a way bigger part than we thought he was going to play. Well, what about you, Jared? Does anything surprise you about this game other than what I just said?
No, not really. I mean, we figured Fairmont was going to pull out a few surprises. I didn't expect it was going to be on their first drive of the game. But what really surprised me, Centerville has not passed it as much. Between that and the triple option is working virtually flawless for the Firebirds to this point. 1st and 10 here coming into the quarter change from the 21.
The crazy part is Centerville's defense is ranked 3rd in the entire GWalk, 2nd against the pass. So you got to think right here. They're already going against the grain. They've inserted that seed in their mind, and now they're getting the linebackers to react a little more slower, looking for that man going out for the deep route. I think another guy for Centerville's team who's going to set this pace on defense is number 42, Caleb Miller. He's in the interior. He has a chance to penetrate and make the offensive line, like put them in awkward situations. So I feel like he could really change the course of this game as well. Linebacker Nick Tobey is definitely going to be a huge part of this comeback as well. And I'm calling it a comeback, Jared, because Fairmont has been controlling the game for most of the time. It's 7-7, but when it's 7-7 against Fairmont, they have the ball.
And driving,
yeah.
Fairmont's looking to add points, and they will do anything to get those points.
Keon Wright in motion, toss.
Pitch out to Wright. Wright will get to the edge. He will be close to another first down for the Firebirds.
And he got close to the first down.
But what I liked there, when they pitched it out to Wright, I think Centerville knows that he's the backup quarterback, and Gant was out in front of him blocking. I think Bruder hesitated for just a second to see if Wright was going to toss it over his head, and I think that's how Wright got to get to the edge.
The effectiveness of the trick play, Jared. It works in layers, and you also saw Chris Thompson in an awkward motion come for a lead block, and you don't really see that a lot. You see a lot of basic runs for Fairmont, but as the season goes on, they're getting more unorthodox.
And they got to watch out for that. You don't want to, you come at the wrong angle, you're going to get called for a blindside block, and that's a 15-yard penalty and almost kills the drive. Play clock is down to 8, 2nd and 1 from the 11.
Thompson in motion at the last second.
Hillen's going to hand it off to, I believe that was Gant. I did not see.
He did not go nowhere. That was Tank Gant on the play.
And he will maybe get to the line of scrimmage.
He was met by Connor Walls right off of the rip.
So 3rd and 1 here from the 11. Is it 4-down territory for the Firebirds, or do you take the field goal if you don't get it here?
I definitely am not taking any field goal against Centerville. This has been a mean rivalry for years, Jared.
And look at who is in the backfield. You're going to have Thompson in front of Gant, in front of Trey Baker. Fairmont bringing out the tonnage for the running back position here.
A mean battery ram.
Hillen's actually going to keep it. He gets to the left. He will have the first down run for the Firebirds. And that was not what I was expecting to be the play call. I don't know if Hillen, it looked like when he came, we'll see here in the replay, it looked like when he came off, once he hiked the ball, it looked like he ran into Thompson and maybe shifted his momentum. And he just, I mean, granted, he ran behind Gant and Baker for the first down. So, I mean, you'll take a first down when you can get it.
Well, I'm going to judge it off of Baker's motion right there, but I think that was planned. I think Trey Baker ran straight up to lead block. I think it was just a perfect trick play. Once again, perfectly timed by Dave Miller. And this will be a 1st and goal for Fairmont.
From the 9-yard line, 10.5 minutes left in the first half.
And you got to love the patience from this young Firebird squad.
Hillen's going to keep it. Hillen's going to cut it back out at the 5, and Hillen will be in from 9 yards out for the Firebirds. And I believe that's his first rushing touchdown of the season, or maybe his second, one of the two. But Fairmont goes up on the Elks here, just under 10.5 minutes left.
And if you see on the MVCC Game of the Week replay, the offensive line just blows up the interior of that Centerville defensive line. And wow, perfectly executed by the Firebirds. And your player to watch, Malik Hillen, is shining very often and early. And this gives Fairmont not only more control of the game, but a 7-point lead in the second quarter against one of the best teams in this conference, Jared.
Holt's extra point is up and good. And Fairmont now leads by 7, 14-7. That was the final score for last week, but I don't think we're done seeing the scoring tonight.
Not at all, especially when you have a guy as talented as Chase Harrison and a line as patient as Centerville's. It's definitely going to be dangerous. Harrison has so many weapons at his disposal, and he uses them all to perfection almost. As you mentioned earlier, 1,400 yards in the season, 19 touchdowns, only 3 picks on a whopping 70% completion percentage. And in high school, that doesn't lose its glimmer at all. It's still just as an impressive stat.
Right, so you can't count Chase Harrison out.
Not once. And also, we saw Bryce McMahon get involved on that last drive, and he has gotten involved a lot this season. He's rushing for 550 yards, 4 touchdowns, has a receiving touchdown on 14 receptions as well. He's got a few receptions of his own tonight. And you see that fake onside kick like you do every week, Jared, and you got to think one of those weeks they're going to actually kick it.
Right, one of those times it's going to be kicked. Fairmont drives it down, and it'll be fielded at about the 10, but a flag comes in.
We'll see what the flag was on Kubi Toll's kick.
Normally on kickoff penalties like that, it's almost offside or false start against the kicking team, and that's what it's going to be.
So we'll go back 5 yards, move the tee back just a little bit.
That's huge for the Firebirds because they're barely getting it down to the 10. So now Centerville can move up 5 or 6, 7 more yards. They'll field it at about the 20 now.
They have an opportunity to flip field position a little bit. But so far, Jared, that hasn't really mattered tonight. They haven't capitalized on their third down conversions. It's going to be the most important thing to do here.
Now, if you're watching, the ball has to get to the 45 now, just in case Fairmont wants to surprise them.
So Toll will take another crack at it.
And he drives this one down, fielded at about the 17, 18.
Meade gets it.
And he is hit hard right at about the 30. So excellent job for the Firebirds to get down there and only allow about a 10-yard, 12-yard return.
And good job by freshman. He's on the special teams, Drew Baker. He's actually the younger brother of Trey. And a solid tackle from the freshman here, and that will bring back on Chase Harrison and this vicious Centerville offense. They have been so avid this year in the passing game, second in the entire GWAC in passing yards per game. 4 receivers wide, McMahon behind Harrison.
Play clock's under 10. Fairmont tries the time to jump perfectly, but they blow right by the handoff, which I didn't think they were expecting, and McMahon will get out for about a gain of 5 out to the 35.
Yeah, if that was a pass, Harrison was going to get crushed. So good job.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 from the 35. Under 10 minutes left now in the first half. And you would have to say for Centerville, this is almost you got to answer back drive.
Sensational composure from the sophomore quarterback, down 7.
Harrison's going to run it with McMahon again, and he is hit in the backfield for about a loss of 2.
Right there, that was number 54, Jacob Dotson. He is a senior, 5'8", 200-pound interior lineman. We haven't called his name a lot this year, but he's one of those fundamental guys.
So it'll be 3rd and 5. Their refs say he gets back to the line, or 3rd and 6 now.
And
Fairmont 33.
Fairmont showing the blitz, the glow off the edge, Snodgrass up the middle. Baker making an adjustment to his defense. And another huge 3rd down. This could be monumental in the game.
Harrison back to pass. Then they're
check down, and he misses McMahon.
McMahon on a wide open check down. So 4th and 6. And you would almost assume Centerville's going to punt again.
Yeah, and then they're bringing out the punt squad right now, Jared. But
I don't know if you saw it on the far sideline, but Miller came running up right before the ball was snapped by the Elks. I thought he was going to call a timeout because he didn't see something he liked.
I thought he was yelling at his defense, though. I did see him.
But I'm surprised that there wasn't a holding call there called on the edge, because it looked like the way Garrett Baker got turned, it looked like a holding, but it wasn't. And a sloppy punt, but ends up taking a huge Elks bounce.
That'll be out about like a 14.
Yeah, so Centerville backs the Firebirds up, but all momentum on Fairmont's side so far.
Ends up being a phenomenal punt, but I apologize to any Elks fans. They may have felt I jinxed them. I was just commenting on the composure of Chase Harrison, and you saw that last-second blitz by Fairmont. Shook him up a little bit, and he overthrew his check down, which never happens.
No, I've hardly ever seen him overthrow. But now, down to the 15 is where the Firebirds will start this drive for their 1st and 10. 8:46 left in the first half. What do you think we're going to see from the Firebirds this time? I mean, are they going to take an 8-minute, 45-second drive?
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to try to milk everything they can out of this clock. Short, pounding runs, trusting Trey Baker and the battery ram formation with short yardage situations. And you see this unorthodox lineup again where you got the tight end, 2 wide receivers all on one side.
Hillen's going to fake the handoff one way and go back the other way, and he is hit. Maybe gets to the line of scrimmage.
Read like a book by number 52, Chris Ardis. He has been a huge player on this Centerville defensive line this year, and he makes another huge play, Jared. But you saw they've gone to that toss and that side so much tonight, and they tried to fake him out and go to the other side. Chris Ardis stayed home. Fantastic play by the junior lineman. That'll bring out the Firebirds in a 2 wide receiver set this time.
2nd and 10 from the 15, just approaching 8 minutes left in the half.
Thompson in motion.
Hillen's going to keep it, pitch it to Gant. Gant cuts it out, and he'll be across the 15 out to about the 17, so only a gain of 3. So 3rd and long coming up here for the Firebirds. Let's see what Miller will call.
Look at the way he just blasts through the defensive back, though. What a big figure. But a great job by Connor Walls there, trailing him. Tank Gant knew he didn't have much space. Didn't try to do anything with that. And it looks like they're bringing out 2 receivers once again, Jared. Another huge 3rd down for the Firebirds. There's actually only Nathan Long up there now. I'll find him towards the bottom of your screen. Thompson in motion once again. Be looking for that toss.
Hillen's going to keep it. Or no, he did keep it, actually. He'll be out to about the 20. But Centerville finally stops the Firebirds on 3rd down.
And what a play once again by Connor Walls. Getting off the edge very quickly, unblocked. And that's the kind of guy they hope to fake out with a fake pitch. But he just got the right angle, Jared. By the time he had wrapped up Hillen, he couldn't even pitch it back. So Connor Walls, some big stops, changing the momentum of this game a little bit, ticking down from the first half.
And Fairmont's probably going to let this one go all, well, no, they're going to hike it with 15. Punt is trailing towards the Firebirds sideline, and it will go, well, it stays inbounds at about the 44, 45 yard line. So Centerville will have excellent starting field position here as they try and tie this game up before the half.
That field position is not promising for the Firebirds at all. But you got to wonder, Jared, how much this slight drizzle is affecting the Centerville passing game. Last drive, we saw 2 runs in a row and then a failed check down pass because he couldn't find any receivers. So you got to wonder if that's affecting them out there. Chase Harrison definitely not used to playing in this weather. It's going to be a really good experience for the future, but right now he looks like he's struggling. Smith in motion.
Harrison's going to check it down, and Harrison lost in the backfield. He's still rolling, stiff arm.
Magic Man.
And he will be pushed out of bounds at the 47.
Good pursuit by Zach Snodgrass. He was the one following Smith, came off the edge. But how about the improvision by Harrison? Even though Snodgrass will be credited with the sack, he can never bring him down.
No, and I was waiting to see if a penalty was going to come out when Harrison did that stiff arm. It looked like he put it right on the face mask of Snodgrass, but maybe he got the shoulder.
Impressive pressure by Fairmont. Looks like they're rushing 4 once again.
A loss of 5 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 15. Harrison back to pass, throws it right out to the outside, and that's incomplete. That was intended to number 3, I believe.
No, that was
or that was actually
that was Jackson Linkhart.
Yeah.
And you saw him take off his gloves and toss them to the side. So I really think that this rain is getting to them and their passing game right now, Jared. This is exactly what the Firebirds hope for.
3rd and 15, 6:13 left in the first half from the 49.
Four receivers set. McMahon to the left side.
Fairmont's defense walks up to the line now.
Interesting to see the Firebirds rush here. Only
Harrison back down. He's going to check it down and run. Harrison cuts the outside, and
oh my goodness, he might have been down.
And the Firebirds.
No, they said he was down.
The refs say he was down.
Here you see on the MVCC Game of the Week replay, Danielson cannot bring him.
Danielson can't bring him down, but that was enough of getting in the way to maybe cause the rest of the Firebirds to get there. And 4th down here for the Elks, 4th and 7 from the 41. And I think Fairmont just called its second timeout of the half.
But right now, Jared, this is the biggest play of the entire half so far for the Elks. And I know it seems like we say that every 3rd down, but this is a 4th down that could give the Fairmont Firebirds really great position.
This is definitely probably a huge play of the half. If Centerville has got to pick this up if they want to try and stay with the Firebirds. But if Fairmont can somehow get the stop here, they have 6 minutes left and they'd have about 60 yards to work with. I could see Fairmont taking the rest of the time off the clock.
Well, I think that they're going to make a lot of halftime adjustments. But right here, Jared, I have to think they'll pick it up. They're going through some problems with the rain. You saw Jackson Linkart throw his gloves to the sideline. I definitely think that's what's altering this passing game right now. They can't get any separation, and they can't really hold on to the ball. But good thing is they have one of the best Midwestern high school football wide receivers on the sideline right now, coaching them on how to adjust. 5 receivers now for Centerville. This could be a problematic formation for the Fairmont Firebirds.
They got to go for it here. 4th and 7. Got to go all out. Harrison alone in the backfield. Harrison back to pass. Baker gets through, and Baker will chase him from behind with a huge sack for the Firebirds at midfield.
The senior, Garrett Baker. Oh, my goodness. Look at him off the edge. He shakes off number 54, Connor Hundley, one of the best offensive linemen for the Centerville Elks, and makes possibly the play of the year for the Fairmont Firebirds. How about that, Jared?
I think that's bigger than the passing touchdown. Just you broke through the Centerville Elks line, and you chased down probably the best quarterback in Southwest Ohio.
And it's funny, you got to think something as exciting as that could affect your nerves, but Garrett Baker is still. And they had a penalty towards Centerville there that didn't matter. They declined it. But how about the composure from the young man, number 9, Garrett Baker? And I actually had a chance to talk to that kid a couple of times, and he's even calmer in person.
Right. Baker so far has made the 2 huge plays in this game. The 60-some yard pass catch he had earlier for the touchdown, and now that sack on 4th down to give the Firebirds the ball back as Fairmont and Malik Hillen come back out onto the field for their 3rd drive tonight.
Yeah, and you see him out on the field once again. Number 9, Garrett Baker, lined up in slot position.
Thompson in motion from bottom to top of the line. Hillen's going to go back to pass. He's going to throw it to Thompson, and Thompson hauls it in.
Keon Wright, actually.
Yeah, you were right. Keon Wright with a huge play, and Fairmont, just like that, drives into Elks territory.
I cannot believe my eyes, Jared. I am nearly speechless. I have never seen Fairmont execute against such a fantastic opponent. Against Centerville, out of all, I've never seen such a performance from them in years. I've been watching this game for literally probably a little bit over a decade, and I'm sure you can relate. This is one of the most phenomenal performances I've ever seen.
Growing up in G-Walk football, you circle this one on the calendar because it, like we said before, records don't matter. Nothing matters in this game. Everybody plays with so much heart in this game because of the pressure of the rivalry. As Gant gets the pitch out, Gant tries to get to the edge, and he's going to cut it back in at the 35 or the 25, and he's going to be close to a 1st down for the Firebirds.
And the halfback toss And that's not possible without your offensive line getting their assignments. And Jared, I really think that has been one of the big differences. Other than the trick plays defining this game, this offensive line has gotten the push almost the entire night. The last drive that was stifled in 3 plays, it didn't get much of a push then, and Centerville was really reading and catching on to their plays. But now starting to switch it up again, and you see some more tonnage coming on for the Fairmont Firebirds. But wow, how about this performance tonight so far? 14-7, 5 minutes left, ticking down the clock fast too. 2 tight ends, 2 halfbacks.
And Fairmont just called its last time out of the half as the play clock was down to 2. So Fairmont not playing with urgency, but playing with all momentum on their side. Just under 5 minutes left in the first half, leading 14-7 and driving.
The Centerville Elks. And I think one of the most interesting things about this game so far is that slight drizzle we keep talking about, Jared. And we see the hoods on some of the coaches, and you see the drizzle in the lighting. But you also saw Tank Gant the last play, that halfback toss to the right. As he cut back, he slipped a little bit. And you got to think that's what's happening to these Centerville Elks receivers. A huge part of Ulry's passing concepts is the curl. The curl, the slant routes, the drag routes, just basic football passing concepts, and not able to create a lot of separation so far on offense tonight for the Centerville Elks. And you see that's why they've gone to Bryce McMahon a lot more than they're comfortable with, haven't been able to get it out to those other weapons.
And with the rain coming down, you can see it's a constant drizzle over the away side lights. Is there an answer? I mean, can Centerville rely on their run game as much as they can?
Yeah, well, also, this Fairmont run D has been vicious so far this year. 3rd in the entire G-Walk, only allowing 120 yards a game.
Refs signal ready for play. 4:56, 2nd and 2 from the 25.
2 offensive linemen in as tight ends eligible. Garrett Baker in the close slot. Thompson and Wright lined up on the edge. Gant behind Hillen, and they're ready to rumble.
Hillen will hand it off to Gant. Gant bursts through, and Gant will be in for another Firebirds touchdown from 25 yards out. No flags on the field, and that one will be good. I think that's Gant's longest run of the season, but Gant just plows through.
Up the middle, and I'm going to credit the offensive line with that one. And the motions in the backfield did a lot, Jared, but once you get that first step, you get to the second level. A guy like Gant, once he starts chugging, he is very hard to stop, and no one was able to even get in front of him as Tank Gant rushes for his 3rd touchdown of the season. No, excuse me, 2nd touchdown. You see the Firebird student section getting even more pumped up as they are witnessing history tonight, Jared. Extra point is up, and it's good as Firebirds go up 21-7.
Nobody saw this one coming. Fairmont dominating all aspects of the game.
You can say that again, Jared. I could not see this coming with a telescope. Oh my goodness. And this would be one of the upsets of the year. Much as last year, Centerville marched into Roush Stadium at a 0-8 record. They faced the Firebirds with no wins, a freshman quarterback in, looking lost most of the games, and they run into Roush Stadium and they run Fairmont out of Roush Stadium. That was an impressive win last year for Centerville, as the Firebirds ended up finishing 7-3. On the contrary, Centerville finished 2-8. So just another example of why the records don't matter in a rivalry like this one. So interesting, Jared. You'll see a kickoff kicker change, as usually we see Kakubi Toll out there, but they will change to their extra point and field goal kicker Will Holt. He's actually a freshman. And they'll fake.
Then the ball falls off the tee.
maybe faked that one a little too close.
The ball got scared and fell over.
Well, the wind is kicking out there. You see the rain starting to sway, and you see Garrett Danielson hold for Will Holt.
Well, that takes away this onside kick surprise, and Fairmont's going to scoot it right down the field, fielded at about the 20, and it's fumbled, but picked up by the Elks, and they get out to about the 30-yard line, and
Oh
the
my
ball's on the
goodness.
ground, and I think
It's still
Fairmont
on the
got
ground. Wow, I definitely think.
it. Oh, I think the
I
refs
think that was
might
a
have,
fumble.
The refs might have blown that one too
We can
early.
get a replay right here. We can determine it up here, even though it will not matter at all.
Runner is down at the 30-yard line where the Elks take possession. 1st and 10 from their own 30.
So what a close call.
4:42 left in the first
As the air was sucked out of this open field, Jared. Wow, what a pivotal moment for the game. That was way
That would
too
have
close
been
to call.
huge for the Firebirds if they could have come up with that.
And so detrimental for the Elks.
Harrison back to pass. Harrison going to throw it down to McMahon. Firebirds come up and make the tackle. It looks like that was number 3, Caleb Young, for the Firebirds. And it'll be out to about the 43 or the 38-yard line. So it'll be second and about 7.
So, Jared, you see another run, and you've got to wonder how this Centerville passing game is suffering from the rain. I haven't seen a lot of focus on the wide receivers so far tonight.
Harrison back, throws it over to Smith, and Smith will be right at the first down marker. He will actually be across it out to the 41.
So, a quick first down for Centerville. They should keep it moving. And a good play action screen, but you see Cam Smith definitely did not have the same explosiveness with his cut. It was kind of more mundane. So there's an example of how this rain is affecting this football game so far. Down 2 touchdowns. Harrison has 4 wide receivers. A McMahon right next to him.
3:35 left in the first half. Harrison is going to hand off to McMahon, and he is tackled by Baker.
And
Well, both Bakers, actually. Trey trips him up, and Garrett finishes it off. And it'll be second and about, or out to about the 46, so it'll be second and about 4.
Great shoelace tackle by Trey Baker there. Jacob DeGlau on the end of that one. He actually got hit right in the chest.
Harrison looks back over to the signal caller for the Elks on the sideline. 2:58 left in the first half. Play clock's down to 12.
Something that has been really impactful for the Firebirds tonight is the fake blitzes.
And Fairmont's going to bring it all, and it is hauled in. Harrison's pass is complete. I believe that is to number 12, Linkhart.
And Will Linkhart hasn't really been a factor tonight. Ethan Som, my player to watch, doing a really good job containing him. Also has some help from the rain.
2:40 left, first and 10 from the 43 of the Firebirds. Centerville trying to get something going to get some points on the board before the half. 2 timeouts left for the Elks.
3 receivers and Connor Walls lined up as that tight end, so watch for a run here. Smith in motion. Play action.
Harrison back to pass. Going to check it down to Smith. Baker comes up and pushes him out of bounds at the 40, so about a gain of 2, 3 maybe.
Good awareness there by Cam Smith, number 3, the sophomore. Trey Baker kind of urging him out of bounds. Here on the 39 in enemy territory. They still have 2 minutes left, and we've seen Centerville strike in 4 seconds, Jared. Anything can happen with this Elks offense. So you got Connor Walls lined up in the fullback.
Harrison's going to fake the throw and is going to hand off to McMahon.
Jacob Dotson coming up with a stop along with Garrett Baker. But now, Jared, you've got to wonder if Connor Walls coming in at fullback a giveaway for the run. Almost every single time he's been back there, they've had a run. It's been moderately successful, but still. 4 receivers now. Meade comes into the slot on the other side, the top of your screen.
Harrison's going to hand off to McMahon. McMahon pushes through. We'll have a first down run to the 25.
And that's what the Elks needed. They need those big punishing runs to make space for the passing game. And so often tonight, the Firebirds blitz has been one of their secret weapons. But still, the blitz hurts them in that aspect. Is you got both guys coming off of the edge. You're rushing 4, but they don't fill in the holes at all.
1st and 10 from the 28. McMahon's going to go out. Harrison's going to throw it down to him, and it's a No, they're going to say it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it was definitely forward.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 from the 28, 1:15 left.
Good job reacting by Fairmont. They definitely reacted appropriately, that's for sure. Had everybody on that side ready to take the angles on McMahon, but so often we had seen Chase Harrison trying to get familiar with this rain. I think every young quarterback needs a game like this, Jared. They're playing a tough team in tough conditions.
Harrison looks back to the signal caller. Harrison's going to hand off to McMahon. McMahon cuts it back, and he is tackled at about the 21-yard line.
Almost got stripped there at the end of that play by Garrett Baker. Comes up with the tackle anyways. And the Elks are trying to call plays quickly, but the clock is running, Jared. And they have a limited amount of time, even though they are in enemy territory with a decent kicker. You still got to wonder.
3rd and 6, 43 seconds left and counting.
There's so much space on the right side, and he utilizes that space.
And Fairmont's defense makes an open field tackle. It'll be 4th down with 33 seconds left.
Excellent play by the young sophomore defensive back, Jalen Razor. It was a very confusing call from my perspective for Fairmont as they blitzed Evan Overholzer, the guy who was covering that short check down route. I definitely feel like they could have prevented that play if Overholzer hadn't had blitzed. But then again, Harrison wouldn't have to throw it as quickly, so direct reason why I am not a coach. What a phenomenal game, Jared. This has been possibly one of the most entertaining games that we have done all year. And last week was definitely the best game, closest game we've done all year. But how about fireworks back and forth? Anybody can still win this game, Jared.
This one is huge. 33.6 seconds left. Centerville's actually going to send the offense out on the field for 4th down.
This is 4th and short, too. Let me remind the viewers, Jared. Fairmont looks like they're rushing 4. McMahon in motion. They will only rush 3.
Harrison checks it down. Harrison rolls to the right, throws it, and it is complete.
Almost dropped it, but there was a break in the man coverage for mere seconds.
Clock is still counting. 24 seconds left. Centerville has a timeout, but chooses not to use it.
Yeah, they're gonna save it, Jared. I don't think they think they'll need it, to be honest. But let us remind everybody watching at home as well that Fairmont has the ball at the half.
Right.
So
Fairmont So either way, Fairmont will still hold the lead or get the ball to start the second half, but 22 seconds left in this one. Centerville trying to knock on the door to get some sort of points.
4 receivers again.
Harrison back to pass, throws it out to Smith.
And what a great reaction from Evan Overholzer.
And 16.8, and Centerville called the timeout quickly.
Timeout. But Jared, an interesting stat for the entire season. Centerville on field goals, 0 for 1. So no matter how close they'll get, you've got to question if, especially in this rain, if they'll actually kick it or just trust their offense.
This is huge for the Elks. 3rd and 9 from the 13.
And the rain still coming down in sheets with 16 seconds left. Not quite in goal-to-go position yet. Got about 5 yards after the first down to go till the touchdown, but still, as we said earlier, Harrison and this electric offense can strike at any time, and nonetheless, 14 yards away. Fairmont needs to be careful with their assignments, and one of our keys to the game for the Fairmont defense, Jared, was keep the man-on-man assignments, and it is as important as ever right now.
3rd and 9, 16.8 seconds left from the 13. Harrison's going to roll to the left. Harrison's going to throw it into the back of the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Oh, my goodness. How about the coverage there? Number 3, Caleb Young, hanging with Cameron Smith at the corner of the end zone. But how about a compliment for the Centerville Elks? Chase Harrison throwing across his body in this rain
on
like
the run.
that. On the run. The accuracy he had to even get it close to him. And it turns out the stat that we had just talked about will be very relevant. Brendan Salo will come on to try to kick this field goal. 0 for 1 on the season. Huge play right here.
Ball was picked up off the ground. Field goal is pushing, and it is
Salo
good.
Kicks it. The biggest kick of the entire year so far for the Centerville Elks goes in. But still, Jared, that will only push it to down by 11, and you're giving the Firebirds the ball after the half.
And there's still 12 seconds left on the clock. We saw a few years ago Miller did something unorthodox where on the kickoff return they come running up and they pitched it back to Hall.
Yeah, they actually did that a couple times when he first took over as head coach. So it could be interesting, but overall I think this is a pretty disciplined Centerville special teams. They have a lot of experience there. And I really think that this will be the rest of the half. But any given Friday night, we have seen more examples of that tonight than almost the entire season. As the Fairmont Firebirds have wowed onlookers. So Salo, after his clutch field goal in the rain, will come back on here for a kickoff.
And here's an interesting note. The only time Centerville has been down at halftime was their first 2 losses at the beginning of the season. Since then, they've either been leading by a huge margin or they were tied with Wayne last week. And Salo boots this one deep, going towards the sideline, and it goes out of bounds.
That's going to be a flag and get him some pretty good field position.
So it'll start at the 40, I believe, or maybe the 35. So
it's the 40.
12 seconds.
Actually, 8
or
seconds.
8 seconds left. Let's see if.
Yeah, I think they're sending out the heavy package. I see Trey Baker already out there with Garrett and the offensive line. I think they are just going to kneel it right here, Jared. Yeah, they're in victory formation. And I don't blame them, as they have won this first half for sure.
Fairmont's going to take one knee, go into the half, up 11, and going to get the ball back to start the second half as Hillen makes it official. That'll be the last play of our first half of our MVCC Game of the Week for week number 7. Fairmont surprising the Elks and leading 21-10 at the half here. Homecoming night for Centerville. We'll be back after the bands perform.
Y'all want to stay tuned for this one.
ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention back to the track for our 2019 homecoming court. Returning to her alma mater to present the crown is 2018 Centerville High School homecoming queen, Gabby Tismo. Now the moment you've been waiting for. As Gabby prepares to place the crown, let's congratulate Centerville High School's 2019 homecoming queen, Miss Heather Murray. Congratulations, Heather and Kyle, and the entire 2019 homecoming court.
This evening for a special halftime performance are the 8th grade band students from Magzig, Tower Heights, and Watts Middle School, as well as Incarnation School. In addition, we would like to welcome students from our Junior Guard program. We are very excited to share this field with over 100 8th grade students. Our first performance this evening will be the fan favorite, Hang On Sloopy. Next, we are excited to perform a popular hit by the Jonas Brothers. This version of Sucker has been arranged for us by Tower Heights Middle School Band Director, Mr. Mike Wojtek. would like to finish our halftime performance for you with a combined rendition of the Centerville fight song. Please stand and join us as we recognize these outstanding band students. The Centerville Jazz Band. The band performed this past weekend at the Bands of America Regional in Muncie, Indiana, on the campus of Ball State University. They were named BOA Regional Champion, also bringing home the awards for Outstanding Music Performance and Outstanding General Effect. This was the 20th Regional Championship in the long and successful tradition of the Centerville Jazz Band. Congratulations, CJB. The Centerville Band Boosters would like to thank our 2019-2020 Win Symphony level sponsor, McCutcheon Music, for your support of Centerville bands.
Stadium getting ready to kick off for the second half of our MVCC Game of the Week for week number 7. Fairmont currently holds a 21-10 lead over the hometown Elks. Jeff, what stood out to you in that first half from the Firebirds?
Well, as AC/DC plays in the background, Jared, their tenacity, their push off the offensive line, the confidence, how calm they were on a consistent basis, that stuff makes a difference when you look at the games. And just the way they're able to deceive. You can definitely come. Fairmont came prepared, and you could tell that they did their homework for this game. So I think that's what really makes the difference. 21-10 here to start the second half.
And Fairmont gets it to start the second half. So it'll be interesting to see what the Elks do.
It's a huge possession for Fairmont once again.
Yeah, going up 28-10 or even 24-10 could end up being a huge momentum
shift. All right, I think that'll be Salo kicking off.
Interesting to see him come back out, and this one's going to go towards the sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds. So the last two kickoffs for him have went out.
Yeah, he did have that kickoff before the beginning of the second half go in the exact same direction, almost in the exact same spot, but that'll bring out the impressive Malik Hill. And Jared, he has been so composed tonight, and he's taking advantage of everything Centerville gives him. He has been stopped on almost regular basis too while keeping the ball, but the deception, his accuracy under pressure when he finally, we've seen Fairmont a lot in the past have those big plays, execute on them on every aspect except the player catching it and the quarterback throwing it. But when he sees that open receiver, he doesn't hesitate. He fires away. He hits it right on the mark. And I think you hit it right on the dot when you made him your player to watch, because he has been ever impressive tonight against the Centerville Elks. Probably, and not even probably, the biggest game of his career so far. He is a sophomore, Jared. I think that's the crazy part. So he will line back up, two tight ends, Wright and Thompson on the edge like usual. Garrett Baker, we've seen him move out to the slot ever since that touchdown pass.
Hillen's going to hand it off to Gant, and Gant maybe gets across the line of scrimmage for a gain of 2 on the play.
And a good stop early for Centerville's defense. They need plays like that to get them pumped up, Jared. There was multiple occasions in the first half where the defensive players just weren't filling the holes. The offensive lineman was getting to them and paving the way.
You see number 18, Walter Walkins, check in late there.
A man who came off was number 40, Brian Callahan. He's a sophomore defensive back, so late DB switch for Centerville. As you take a look at the field, it is all moist tonight, and there's still layers of slight rain coming down.
Hillen pitches it out to, I believe that was Thompson, or no, that was right.
And he goes absolutely nowhere. Actually loses a couple inches, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 8 for the Firebirds here. Just under 11 minutes left in the 3rd quarter at the 37.
You heard the Centerville announcer. It's 3rd down. This is an essential one to start off the drive, as Fairmont has done a good job pounding it, but not getting a lot of separation. And these are the 3rd and 9s that Fairmont does not want to be in, especially after they've already used their 2 passes.
Hillen's going to run it. He's going to keep it across the 40. He dives across the 40 out to about the 41.5, 42. But it'll be 4th and about 3. And
definitely bringing out the punt team here. You're up by 11. I think that was a no-brainer. Got 2 minutes off the clock, but didn't accomplish much that drive. But it's very hard for Fairmont to capitalize on those long 3rd downs. That's always a key for the game for them, is to keep the 3rd down manageable. They did not manage it that time.
Snodgrass on to punt for the Firebirds. Punt almost went by him.
That was actually a really solid punt, one of the best of the year so far for Snodgrass.
And it goes out of bounds. Let's see where the rest mark it.
It's going to be at the 25.
He's still walking. Right at about the 31 maybe.
So that was a fluttery one. But nonetheless brings out, once again, sophomore prodigy Chase Harrison. And he's been kind of shaky tonight, Jared. This rain is really getting to him. And Fairmont pulling up a lot of trick plays on offense and defense. You see they're always feigning the blitz.
McMahon goes in motion. Harrison back to pass. Screen pass set for Linkhart, I believe.
And good
and
deception.
He's across the 35 out to the 36 probably.
Some really nice trick play motions going on there, Jared. They've ran that flat pass to McMahon multiple times, and they go the complete opposite side this time.
I believe that's the first pass to a wide receiver that wasn't in the slot for Harrison tonight.
He had a pass to Linkhart in the 2nd quarter at that last drive.
McMahon's going to get the carry. McMahon runs to the right, and what an open field tackle there by Ethan Salm. Your player to watch. He come up and shoelace tackled McMahon to keep it. Now it's going to be 3rd and about a yard and a half.
And Centerville has been very successful in these 3rd and short situations so far this year. Bryce McMahon is usually the man to go to, but you never know, especially with this Centerville offense with so much space to work and so many options. 4 receivers set. McMahon lined up to the right of Harrison. They rush 5. Harrison with the read option.
Harrison's going to keep it. Harrison is tackled at about midfield. And a 1st down run for the Elks.
Did a good job of catching him off guard with the blitz, Jared. Just didn't blitz the right lanes. Centerville's done a great job of that so far tonight. Well, they don't care if you're going in a certain direction, as long as it's not their direction.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from midfield for the Elks. 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
Connor Walls on as a tight end once again. You got to expect the run here. Play action.
Throws it out to, that is Walls. And a flag comes in from the head referee.
I definitely think that was a holding call there. Saw a little pulling action. Connor Walls gets blasted by a crowd of Firebirds. Here you see on the replay, I think it was Cam Smith on the hold. Yeah, they definitely got him for the hold. Cam Smith was hoping nobody got away with it. I saw him after the hold kind of looking around for a few seconds.
So it'll be 1st and 20 now from the 40. .746 left in the third quarter.
Ball moves back to the 40-yard line. 1st and 20 from the Centerville 40.
So bringing in another tight end once again. I think that's Mead though. I don't think that's Walls.
It is Mead. Back to pass. Harrison's gonna just throw a check down to
wide receiver screen.
Linkhart making moves, and will probably have the first down depending on the spot. And now they're going to say he's about a yard short, so an 19-yard completion there on a wide receiver screen.
Sensational execution from the Centerville offensive line. The movement to be able to get out to the right and pave the way for their big wide receiver. But how about the move? 6'5", 200 pounds. Will Jackson Linkhart, just a remarkable specimen. So far this year has been one of the best receivers in GWalk. 500 yards on 44 receptions, 9 touchdowns, and continues to impress tonight.
The rain is picked up.
McMahon gets the carry. He'll have the first down out to the 30 or down to the 35. And it seems just like as Centerville moves across the 50, the rain picks up and maybe causing some more issues for the Elks later on.
Yeah, definitely. You saw the pass to Linkhart a little bit earlier, and then you see the screenplay. They start adjusting. You've seen a lot of these screens, though, tonight, Jared. Check downs, screens, jet sweeps. It doesn't really happen often for Centerville. They like running the curls. They like running their crosses.
And that's probably a huge X factor from the rain. They're limiting this Elks playbook.
So tight end in once again.
McMahon gets the carry. He bursts through him, but he's upended at the 32. Looks like my number 34 for the Firebirds, Snodgrass.
McMahon picks up about 3 yards.
Yeah, excellent job of Snodgrass and Baker clogging the lanes. But that push from the Centerville line really made the difference there. Gained every yard, and they worked for it, too.
Working hard on the sidelines down there tonight.
So here we go. You will not see Walls in as tight end. A rare occasion this year.
Still Mead.
Number 34, Parker Hinkabane. Hinkabane is in at tight end.
Harrison is going to keep it on the read option, and he slides down at the, well, they're going to say he starts his slide at the 31, so it's only going to be, I don't think he's going to gain a yard on that.
But a great read option, though. He really sold the defensive end. Saw number 50, number 68, Jack Roncalli.
So he loses a yard on the run by starting his slide too soon. So 3rd and 6 from the 31.
The Centerville has two tight ends in now. Actually, one tight end to the right. My bad. Excuse me.
Harrison back to pass, throws a bullet to Linkhart. Linkhart at the 25, and Linkhart is tackled at the 5 from the Firebirds. Looks like Salm gets the tackle there for the Firebirds.
Salm was on the left leg, and Garrett Danielson on the right leg. Took a lot to bring him down. But how about the poised throw for the sophomore quarterback while getting hit? You do not see this stuff from high school quarterbacks every day, Jared.
And Centerville's going to go up-tempo here. Harrison's going to hand off to McMahon. McMahon runs to the right, and he's going to be tackled. No, he stays on his feet, dives for the end zone for the touchdown.
Bryce McMahon. Oh, my goodness, Jared. He is wreaking havoc on that Fairmont defense. And if we can get a replay of that, how sensational, miraculous run. Evan Overholzer almost has him wrapped up on the outside. You see on the MVCC Game of the Week replay, Evan Overholzer loses him. Ethan Salm cannot wrap him up, and he keeps on persevering. And Bryce McMahon.
Extra point is up and good.
Extra point is good.
That will be his 6th total touchdown of the season, 5th on the rushing end. Going above 600 yards tonight, or rushing, no doubt about that. And he has been one of the best backs in GWalk. proves it once again. And Fairmont is going to have to start moving now, Jared.
So how does Fairmont respond here now? Lead cut down to 4.
And I know we talk so often about these third down plays, but the most important play for Fairmont, let's be honest, Jared, it's that first down push. Every single time, if they're getting a good play off on first down, they're establishing dominance for the entire drive.
Centerville on to kick off.
Back receive for the Firebirds, number 1, Saul, and number 3, Young.
Now, I mean, for Centerville, you have to worry about kicking it out of bounds. The last 2 kickoffs for the Elks have went out of bounds.
Definitely, probably. Some words with Salo after that last flag. Didn't seem to matter, though. They squib it this time, yeah. Definitely made some adjustments. Caleb Young picks it up, takes it to
Caleb
the left.
Young makes moves, and he's across the 25 out to about the 27.
I started to think he had him beat, but a great tackle by Bryant Callahan there. Sophomore defensive back. Young guy tracked him down from behind.
So Fairmont will start 1st and 10 at the 26 or 27 with 4:49 left in the third quarter. Fairmont, you think, is probably going to go back to their methodical playbook and take some time off this clock.
I think Dave Miller slowly, I don't think it's slowly, I think he realizes how big the first down plays are now. If they get 5 or 6 yards here, Jared, it's almost a guarantee that they're getting another 5 or 6 yards after that. Also instills a confidence in this offense.
Late substitution for the Elks getting off the field. Fairmont pitches it to, I believe that is right.
What a play. Caleb Miller. Oh my goodness, he broke through that line. And a player I mentioned earlier that needed to step up. And you saw him burst through the middle of that offensive line with no hesitation at all.
And it's going to be a loss of about 6 on the play.
We were just talking about how they needed to gain 6, but instead they lost 8.
A loss of 8 at the 19, 2nd and 18, 4:15 left in the third.
Huge play. They've already used their 2 passes too, Jared. Only up by 4 now.
Hillen is going to hand it off, and he gets across the 20.
Tank Gant gets about 2 yards on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd and 16.
Tackled by Will Hefner on the field for the Elks. 3rd and 15. There are not many running plays for 3rd and 15.
What to do. They'll bring out Nathan Long. They'll bring in another receiver they use a lot, Trevor True.
3rd and 15 from the 22.
The senior will be at the bottom of your screen, Jared. They're looking like they're going to line up for another run, but you have to think it's going to be a jet sweep or a halfback toss here. They've used that toss a lot to the side of Thompson and Wright.
And nobody is on True down here at the bottom of the screen, and Miller calls a timeout as the play clock was about to expire. You could see the Elks coaching staff on the sideline jumping up and down and wailing their arms, trying to get a defender down on True.
You gotta wonder how nobody saw him. Definitely some words to that defensive back crew.
And with how long he was left wide, or left uncovered, I'm surprised Miller called the timeout there and just didn't tell him to hike it and throw it to him, because there was nobody near him for at least 15 yards.
Jared, this Fairmont Firebird offense, their confidence is definitely wavering. You can see going into this second half, offensive line not getting the same push, not blocking the lanes as well. And also you have to credit Ulrey and that defensive staff from Centerville as well. There's definitely some halftime adjustments that went on. So 3 minutes to go. Fairmont doing a number on the clock with their 2 drives, but still was not able to stop the Centerville offense. They've given up 7 points already in this quarter, trying to avoid giving up more and giving the ball back to this dangerous Centerville offense. Here we go.
The Elks trying to pump up the crowd. 3rd and 15 from the 22 for the Firebirds. Hillen's going to pitch it out to right. He makes one man miss, and he is tackled in the backfield for another loss. That'll back him up about 4 more yards. And now, I mean,
what a play, as you see on the Game of the Week replay. Jonathan Bruder.
Now, Fairmont, I mean, you get the clock going, but, I mean, Fairmont seems to be coming apart at the seams here for a little bit. Moving the ball so well the first half and not being able to get past the 40 this half.
At all. Not having any success whatsoever. Centerville defense like a cyclone.
Snodgrass on the punt. It's a bad punt and shanks it out of bounds. Well, no, it ricocheted off of Salm. And Centerville will have excellent starting field position in Fairmont plus territory.
And once again, Jared, it seems like in this 21-year span, every single time the Firebirds have hope, it withers away within the second half. Of years and years of history, the field goals, the fumbles, the interceptions. And you gotta think that Miller's thinking about all those years. Trips on the right side, tight end lined up on the left. McMahon in the backfield.
McMahon will get the carry, and he is tackled at wide open field.
Good concentration by Zach Snodgrass, number 34 for the Firebirds.
And surprising, with the rain and everything tonight, we have not seen a turnover yet.
Not at all. We've seen a couple near turnovers. Same formation here, except McMahon is behind Harrison, trying to get him off sides. No success. Fairmont now starting to feint the blitzes.
Under 2 minutes now, 2nd and 7 from the 41.
Look how much space there is between the defensive back core and the Centerville wide receivers.
And Harrison's just going to pitch it to McMahon, and McMahon will be tackled at about the 37, so he'll be 3rd down and short here for the Elks. As the clock continues to tick as we approach a minute and a half left in the 3rd.
We talk so much about Chase Harrison, but this year Bryce McMahon has really stepped it up.
Is a gain of 3 on the play, and Centerville back quickly to the line for up-tempo.
3rd and 4. Trying to get him off sides again. Fairmont does not fall for it.
And now this is good because, I mean, it's good Fairmont doesn't fall for it because that would give him the 1st down automatically.
And it's raining. Let's see how the young Chase Harrison handles this situation, Jared. This very much could be a key win for him.
Rain coming down a little bit harder now. Play clock's down to 2. McMahon, he fakes it, throws it, and it's intercepted.
My goodness.
Trey Baker with the pick, and he has blockers out in front of him. Trey Baker's at midfield, and he's tackled from behind at about the 48. And Fairmont comes up with a timely interception.
The senior leader, Division I prospect Trey Baker, reads this play like a book, and that's why he's your captain right there, Jared. That's why I rave so much about him. He's a sideline to sideline problem for the offense. Oh my goodness. The biggest play of the season made by Trey Baker. It's made by the biggest game of his career.
54 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Correction. Fairmont has the ball at their own, or at the Elks 45.
And you can bet their sideline's going wild right now, Jared. Keon Wright drops back, another pass thrown.
And it's hauled in by Chris Thompson. He's at the 20. He'll be knocked down at the 20 by number 2 of the Elks, Maurice Lawrence.
And the few hurdles of people that are on the Fairmont bleachers are going ballistic right now, changing the course of this game within 2 plays, 2 snaps of the football. Firebirds have the momentum once again, up by 4. And it's starting to look more and more like their game as it continues, Jared.
Fairmont will have to hike it one more time in this half, or in this quarter. Play clock's down to 8. 18 seconds left on the clock. 1st and 10 at the red zone. Hillen gonna No, did he hand it off?
Yeah,
to
handed it off to
Okay.
Gantz for about 4 yards, hard fought yards.
And that is going to do it for the third quarter. Fairmont with the interception and driving here will start the fourth quarter when we come back. Fairmont up 4, 21-17 going into the final quarter in our MVCC game of the week for week number 7.
And mark my words, Jared, this has gone from being the MVCC game of the week, number 7, to the MVCC game of the year. We have 1 quarter to play of football, and I have never been so exhilarated in my life for an MVCC game of the week. Oh my goodness, back and forth, and the best part about this entire game is the fact that Centerville can score at any point. They can come back from whatever deficit you give them. So Fairmont has that in the back of their minds. As they're calling plays, they know Centerville can change it within a drop of a penny.
So fourth quarter, it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 17.
There's a lot of people in this stadium holding their breath, Jared. So you see Fairmont in the offensive huddle. The storm has calmed. For sure the breath had to be held on that last defensive possession. Trey Baker making an ever so pivotal play. Chris Thompson with a huge catch. One of his biggest plays of the year. And they continue to surprise the Elks.
Hillen's going to keep it. He's going to fake the pitch, and he's tackled. He might actually get to the line of scrimmage.
One of the things I'm starting to notice in this second half and now in the fourth quarter is that this Centerville defensive line looks like a completely different animal. They're starting to win the trenches. They're starting to win in the trenches. All those little battles. Caleb Miller, Chris Artis, those guys are starting to make a huge difference on that defensive line. You got Nathan Long at the bottom of your screen.
3rd and 7 from the 17. Do we see a pass for the Firebirds? No, Hillen's going to keep it. Or no, Hillen, I thought he kept it, and he actually handed it off to Gann up the middle.
And I really thought that was going to be an option. I thought the option was going to be the safe call. But instead, the defense is waiting for Tank Gant, and they get Tank Gant. And oh my goodness, Jared, they're lining right back up.
Pitch out goes to Gant. Gant cuts it in, and Gant is tackled short of the first down. Elks defense comes up with a stop with 10:54 left.
Noah Holmes, what a play. What a play. He is proving his worth on this defense. Open field tackle on one of the biggest guys on that entire team, Tank Gant, 6'3", 220.
I don't know if there was miscommunication on the Firebirds coaching staff because I don't know if you saw it, but I saw the field goal kicking team come running in from the kicking net down here at the 20.
Yeah, the
Fairmont
Firebirds, they telegraphed the play. They telegraphed which side they were going to run it to, and they did it rather quickly. So it's a confusing series, especially on a fourth down where teams take so much time deciding what to do, but nonetheless, Harrison will have it. Centerville possession.
Harrison fumbles it. He's going to pick it up and run, and he will be tackled at about the 15.
Good perseverance by Jack Roncalli coming off the edge, quickly on Harrison. Now they're lining things back up.
Centerville's going to line up tempo, but they're going to take time off the clock.
They're going to keep the same type of formation.
McMahon gets the carry.
And it goes absolutely nowhere. Fairmont's defense still being stingy. But I swear, Bryce McMahon is the best in the conference at looking like he's going nowhere and then gaining 5 yards. I've seen it so much tonight where I watch him run, it looks like a gain of 2, and I see him move the chain 7 yards.
And it is 3rd and 4, under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And a flag comes in from the far sideline. false start against Centerville, so that's going to back them up 5. It's going to be 3rd and 9 now.
And that is a huge flag, Jared. We know that Centerville Elks can gain any amount of yardage at any time, but still, any advantage that the Fairmont Firebirds can get, they have been taking tonight with a grain of salt.
So here we go, 3rd and 9. 9:45 left in the fourth quarter.
Got 2 impact receivers on one side at the top of your screen.
McMahon's going to go out, and Harrison checks it down. Fairmont made...
Oh, my God.
And
Cameron
I think Fairmont just made an excellent open field tackle. Centerville's going to be 2 yards short, and you're going to presume they're going to punt.
Yeah, they're going to punt it. Oh, wow, Jared. What a tackle by Evan Overholser.
Yeah, Overholser with an incredible tackle here.
And he almost jukes him out.
Right, comes off.
Yeah, Overholser actually did get juked out. That was number 3, Caleb Young, with the tackle, holding on to his leg. But still, Overholser making a difference. But Cam Smith, how about the elusiveness? Almost shaking him.
Number 3, Cam Smith.
Smith on to punt for the Elks. And it is a high booming kick.
And that's going to work out for the Firebirds.
And it's down by number 54 for the Elks. Nathan Seymour at the 46-yard line. And Fairmont 8:49 starting in plus field position.
8:49 left to go in the game.
So phenomenal field position for the Firebirds.
Now, I mean, calling so many games under Coach Miller in his 4 years, I think we know what he's going to do here for this, what could be Fairmont's final drive of the game.
Yeah, the problem is I think Centerville knows too. As long as Miller's been in here, I think it was 1 year after, that's when Ulrich came in, and you know he's been studying this offense for a long time. I think he has a couple of answers for this Fairmont offense.
Fairmont lines up. Hillen's going to keep it. Hillen's going to tuck it to the right. Hillen is at
goodness.
the end. Hillen's at the 30,
Malik Hillen.
20, Hillen 10, 5,
Malik
touchdown
Hillen.
for the Firebirds.
That makes it 27-17, pushes Fairmont up 10 points, and oh my goodness, the sidelines are starting to get hectic, Jared. And the guy who made the game-saving play last time, Noah Holmes, and made the open field tackle on Tank Gant. He was the one who got faked out by the fake pitch and lost Malik Hillen. And we haven't seen his breakout speed a lot, Jared. We've seen this tough runner. He has a very good center of gravity, taking a lot of hits, being very heady with the football. But we have never seen his breakout speed like the last 2 weeks. And we've seen it in full display. That last drive against Miamisburg, he ate him up. And now, tonight, he has 2 rushing touchdowns where he has just completely broken this defense.
Holt on for the extra point. Snaps good, holds good, kick is up, and the kick is good. And the Firebirds extend their lead 28-17 with 8:40 left in the game.
That makes the lead 11 points, Jared. 8 minutes left, and as much as the Centerville offense has been a force to be reckoned with, Fairmont has also had the most comfort they've ever had dealing with this offense. So I think that speaks volumes to the rain and to their preparation. And not only that, they have controlled the clock as well. There have been some unbelievable plays tonight. Fairmont has stepped up and looked like a playoff team despite their 1-5 record. They are pulling off some miraculous stuff right in front of our eyes, folks. And I got a feeling this is going to be one of the more popular broadcasts, Jared. What an exceptional game so far. We still have 8.5 minutes and a high-flying offense, too. So we'll see a permanent kicking change now, as Kiwi Toll has been the guy to go to most of the season on kickoffs, but Will Holt will bring it in, and he'll squib it right up the middle.
And it goes through the legs, and it's going to...
Are you kidding me? Oh, so close for Will Holt. I thought that one was going to be down at the 1, Jared, but it goes out of bounds right before the goal line.
That
was right before the pylon.
I mean...
No, I saw it. It went right out before the pylon.
It's not that. If he touches it, it's a live ball.
Huh.
So if he did touch and it goes out of bounds, it's at the 1.
The 1. I don't know. I don't think he touched it. I thought he was trying to be kind of patient with it. But that was one of the best squib kicks I've ever seen. A really smart play, especially in the rain where it's hard to gather it from the ground. A heads-up play from freshman kicker Will Holt. And this Fairmont staff bring out the tight end set with 3 receivers now. Snap to Harrison, handoff to the outside. Bryce McMahon, he gets gathered up by the vicious Trey Baker, delivering another hit. And see, that one looked like a good 3 yards, but still, he got 5 on it. That'll be a 2nd and 5. Parker Hinkabin still at tight end.
Harrison's going to Harrison's going to keep it. And Harrison will be just across the
That's a first down.
45 for a first down.
And a very competent read option there. Harrison is getting so good at that, and I think that's an essential skill to have as a sophomore in high school, Jared, because that is a really popular concept in a college game.
Under 8 minutes left in the game. Centerville has got to start playing with some urgency, down 11.
And this passing game is really being thrown off by the rain now as it's coming down heavier and heavier in sheets.
Harrison's going to hand it off to McMahon. McMahon will be tackled. No, he's going to burst through across midfield down to about the Firebirds 47.
Overholser with a good fundamental hit there, trying to get the helmet on the football. Can't quite do it, as you see on the MVCC Game of the Week replay. Almost gets it out as McMahon switches hands. But you got to wonder, when you look back at this game, Jared, how much has the rain really affected this thing? The young Harrison snaps it once again.
McMahon gets the carry once again, and he'll have the first down run down to about the 40, or they're going to say at the 41. He's down.
And this is Bryce McMahon's game right now. He has been exceptional tonight, but not able to pull off those 3rd down conversions. They've had to turn to the pass and have been disappointed yet again. But as much as we talk about the rain and Centerville Elks coming up short, this Fairmont zone has been something else tonight. They have really stepped it up.
And McMahon with another carry, and he is going to be close to another first down, if not has it.
Yet another big run.
They're going to give him 10 on the play, or 10 on the gain.
So another first down. They are really moving with a sense of urgency, as you were just saying, Jared. 6 minutes, just over 6 minutes to go in this game. Trips to the right.
Harrison's going to hand it off to McMahon again, but the Firebirds tackle him at the 25. So 3 straight runs from McMahon, and he gets him down to the 25.
And he is pulling them off. And you should really give some credit to the Centerville offensive line, getting that push, getting up into the 3-4 defense of Fairmont. Trips on the right side once again. McMahon moves up.
And McMahon with another carry, he will be tackled. That is a nice open field tackle there by Garrett Baker.
Yeah, they're going to spot it 1 yard short. That's going to be a 3rd and 1, and you got to think they're going to bring on Hinkebine as the tight end and shove this one up the middle. No, they're going to keep 4 receivers out there now. Harrison calling the play.
McMahon going to be to his left.
Big 3rd down now for Centerville.
McMahon will get the carry. No, Harrison's going to keep it. Harrison will have the first down run down to the 15 as we're at 5.5 minutes left in the game. Centerville trying to drive here to get it. You got to get 11 points, so a field goal here will be helpful.
Now as Centerville brings it down, as you saw on the replay. Fairmont's defense looking kind of tired. McMahon to the right.
McMahon with the run to the right, and he's tackled down at the 10 by, it looks like, both Bakers that time.
Number 29, Evan Thompson, also on the tackle. Trips to the left now. And you got to think that this drive is almost a foregone conclusion, Jared. Centerville's really moving the ball. It is looking really good for the Elks offense. But the big tell is going to be, how can Fairmont hold the ball next drive? I think that's going to be the one that kind of pivots this game in the direction that it's going to go in.
Harrison back to pass, throws it to the outside, and it is incomplete. Intended to Linkart. The home crowd wants a flag on the play, but it's incomplete. 3rd and 5 from the 3rd and 5 at the 10. 4.5 minutes left.
Definitely a close call, but Ethan Somm on the coverage of the big 6'5 receiver, and has been so good tonight in coverage against an elite GWalk force. Jalen Razor coming over to help. You saw him on the last play too. They're going to try to double cover Linkart at the top of your screen, but they have to watch the trips at the bottom.
Harrison gonna fake the handoff to McMahon. Harrison cuts it to the left, and he's tackled at about the 8, so it'll be 4th and about 2 with 4.5 minutes left.
And good read option there, but they're starting to catch on to that, Jared. As soon as they dove the defensive end towards McMahon, you saw the rest of the defense immediately adjust. Saw Razor out there, Overholzer in on the tackle. Garrett Baker staying home.
So Centerville going to send out the field goal unit.
1 of 2. As I said earlier, Jared, first field goal of the year made earlier this game. This is a huge one.
Ball's on the ground, kick is up, and That's is good. So it makes it an 8-point game.
So Salo makes his first 2 field goals of the game in the biggest game of the year so far. And as you see on the MVCC Game of the Week replay, band almost catching it on the back. And now 3 minutes and 50 seconds remains in this monumental game here in this American GWalk Conference. And you hear the band churning. So here we go. Brendan Salo is going to kick off now. And as I was just saying last drive, Jared, this is going to be the most pivotal drive of the game. If Fairmont can hold this ball and do what they do best, they come away with the first win against Centerville for the first time in 20 years. And you got to think, after going 7-3 2 seasons, making the playoffs against all odds, this is his biggest win of his entire career.
I don't know, but who Miller, he could be the coach. He ended the losing streak against Alter for the Firebirds. Can Fairmont hold on for the last 3:56 and he end the losing streak? And it's an onside kick, and it is recovered by the Elks.
Do not put away your popcorn just yet. Centerville takes the possession once again. And they say, do not speak on my winning streak. Dave Miller has to be so frustrated on that end. Those are the situations you work on in practice over and over again. And it had to be, for the first time, you didn't call it as an option. You always bring up that onside kick, but they finally slipped one past you, Jared. Came out of nowhere.
So Centerville at the 49, 1st and 10, 3:56 left and 3 timeouts.
As we were just talking about Fairmont having the most pivotal drive of the game, it reverses back to Centerville having the most pivotal drive of the game.
McMahon gets the carry. McMahon up. And a fumble. And I think it's recovered by the Firebirds. Let's see what the rest say. And it is.
Goodness, Jared. Game of the year. This just keeps on getting better. 3:56. It's not over yet. MVCC Game of the Week replay. Who makes the play? Trey Baker
with
forced fumble. And that is his second forced turnover against one of the best GWalk offenses there is. And I don't think I have to talk about this kid anymore. I think those 2 plays speak for themselves. Oh my goodness. Bryce McMahon having such a successful game, carving up this Fairmont D, constantly being the Centerville workhorse in this rainy day. And now he finally loses it. He finally loses the ball. They've been hitting him like that all night. Hillen to the right gets immediately wrapped up. Number 48, again, Noah Holmes making a really solid play off the edge.
And I'm surprised with a loss of 2, and Centerville is not taking the timeout.
Yeah, the clock is ticking now. 2nd and 12. This is looking really good for Centerville now to begin this drive. We talked about earlier how pivotal those first down plays are. And stifling it early. Didn't even have time for the option. Nathan Long at the bottom of your screen. Other than that, basic setup, tight end to the left. Keon Wright, Chris Thompson on the edges. Tank Gant behind him. And that could be a false start towards Fairmont.
I never saw a flag come in. I think Fairmont called a timeout.
Oh, called timeout, okay. Thought one of those jumps were a little early, but instead it ends up being a Miller timeout, which I really wasn't expecting at this point in the game. He saved Centerville from having to use one of them, but maybe he sees something right here, Jared. Maybe he sees a hole that maybe Centerville did not see last possession.
The last time we were in this position, earlier in the game, Fairmont pulled it out and passed it here for a 45-yard or a 55-yard touchdown to Keon Wright. Or no, it was to Garrett Baker. Let's see what Coach Miller does on this 2nd and 12 with 3 minutes and 6 seconds left in the game of the week for week number 7 and possibly one of the game of the week for the year.
Wow, but you have to think, as much as we think there's going to be a pass here in one of these situations, that's what Centerville's defense is preaching right now. Watch that pass. It has been killing them all day. They've seen four passes, and they have just sliced them open for huge gains. And every single time they pass it, we hear the Centerville coaching staff screaming pass at the top of their lungs.
Sitting right next to them up at the top.
So that they're definitely preaching to watch the pass here. Fairmont sets up.
Pitches it out to Gant. Gant.
Oh, I think that might have been a false start, Jared.
And I think Gant was looking to throw it. When me and you were on the sidelines for the Alter game at the beginning of the year, Gant did throw it in a penalty that was called by an illegal man downfield. But if that false start didn't happen, Gant looked like he was ready to throw it.
That could have been a very dangerous play for Centerville, but so far working out in their favor. Fairmont has to run the clock with 2 plays here, but
2nd and 17 now.
Not really successful in these situations. But we'll see what the Firebirds pull out of their bag of tricks.
You're going to see, I believe, Long at the top of the screen for the Firebirds, but
very effective formation defensively for Centerville now.
Hillen back to pass, and he throws it out to Thompson. He hauls it in across the 50, and now it's a 3rd and manageable for the Firebirds as we're under 2 minutes left in the ball game.
Jared, I am about to have a health problem. Malik Hillen pulls for his 5th pass of the game. That could be a record.
5-4-5.
That could be a record for Dave Miller program. Sometimes you don't get 5 passes in 5 weeks. Oh my goodness. MVCC game of the year. We see another play, and it's crazy. This one is still not over, Jared. It has everybody pulling their hair out now.
3rd and 5, 2:25 left in the game at the 48 for the Firebirds.
And this one's going to be one for the history books. No matter which way it goes, this is going in the history books, Jared.
Miller comes in and calls the timeout. Fairmont left with no timeouts now.
And you got to think that's kind of confusing from a guy who was trying to run the clock.
He's taken all 40 seconds off the play clock, though.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason I think he called that timeout. 3rd and 5, 2:15 left.
Yeah, there's one thing I've learned since calling these games in these booths is to not question that man right there. Every time he finds a new way to prove me wrong.
It's like he's listening live to the games, waiting for you to doubt him, and then he's just going to pull something out.
And the defensive coordinators for Centerville have to be going insane right now. But a player to watch here in these next few drives is Matthew Graveline. He has 4 picks on the year, not many tackles, but he is a menace in that passing game. He hasn't really caught on to any of the passes, though, so far tonight. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do here. I'm going to guess a pitch to the left for Keon Wright. They're going to try to use his speed to utilize that. But every single time that the Centerville is expecting a run, you'll see this formation where they put 5 guys on the line, 2 linebackers on one edge and 2 linebackers on another edge. It's really been working for them so far tonight. And they come out in the same formation right here.
Fairmont's going to stack the line of scrimmage. As late substitution as...
That's as late as it gets right there. That's Anaz Musami. Don't see him in it a lot.
Thompson's going to come down and stand right next to Wright. Hillen's going to keep it. Pitches to Grant. Grant is going to be tackled for about a 5-yard loss at midfield, and Centerville quickly calls a timeout with 2:10 left in the game.
And every single time, Jared, when we think it's over, they find a new way to defy our thoughts. And great read there. Number 27 for Centerville, Will Hefner, coming off of the edge, making a huge stop against Tent Gant. That'll push it to 4th down. And you got to think that Fairmont's kind of worried about their punting unit. Hasn't had a lot of hope in Zach Snodgrass. He's had his moments shining so far this year, but for the most part, it's 20 and 30-yard shanks.
I think Miller might take a 30-yard shank here and just let him have it at the 20. Because you don't want to have your best punt of the night, or you don't want to have your best punt of the year go into the end zone.
For sure. And he's going to bring out Snodgrass as we all expect.
And look, different punting formation for the Firebirds. They're going to have 2 runners on the up or
yeah, both of their
top
gunners
part
are
of
at the
your
top of
screen.
your screen.
Snodgrass gets a high booming end over end kick at the 20.
Oh my goodness, that's going to
live
be a
ball.
flag.
That's a ball, or the flag comes in.
Return interference. Did he not see the ball? Like, I don't understand why you would press up against the returner like that. A very, very bad mistake in these key moments. That was going to be one of the best punts of the Firebird season.
Down inside the 10. 2 minutes left.
And pivotal mistake. I believe that was number 29, Evan Thompson, on the play. Yeah, returner interference.
So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, so that's going to take it out to the 25.
And every yard is huge now, Jared.
Centerville is going to take over. 1st and 10 from the 26. 2:02 left in the ball game.
Rain is still coming down. Trips. McMahon out.
Harrison's going to throw it over to McMahon. McMahon catches it. Little off balance. McMahon breaks 2 tackles. He's across the 40 and pushed out of bounds.
And that's perfection when you think of your first play.
The clock never moved on the scoreboard. The refs are not paying attention. The clock never moved. It still says 2:02 on the board.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Centerville with a free play.
That is insane. Yeah, they want 158 on the clock, and while it's running. And now they're going to run it once again. So that, I think they realize that too. I imagine some of the crowd let them know, and as well as the coaches. As the clock is such a huge part of the game right here. The clock will be ticking. Harrison gets it.
Harrison's going to screen it to Linkhart. Linkhart is going to be tackled by a slew of Firebirds for only about a gain of 1.
That was a great shoelace there. Number 54 for the Firebirds. Jacob Dotson making yet another big play. Holding on to the shoe. So 133, it's ticking fast, Jared. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion here. Let's see if the Firebirds D can pull it off once again.
Harrison back to pass. Harrison
shakes off the sack. Wow.
Harrison stays in bounds, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 45.
Yeah, the scouts are watching this guy. What incredible. It seems like he's on another level. It seems like he's that AAU guy. Wow, shaking off another group of Firebird pass rushers.
It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Elks. 1:17 left.
And you got to wrap that blitz up. Once you get the quarterback in your hands, you cannot let him go. Trips on the top of your screen. Space from Linkhart right now.
Harrison back to pass. Harrison throws a screen out to McMahon, and will have the first down across the midfield, but 1:12.
And Firebird's not really doing a good job of containing the play inside of the out-of-bound lines.
They're not going to give him the first down. It's 4th and 1 at the 49 for the Elks. 1:12 left in the game.
This is a monumental play, Jared. Any mistakes, the game could be over.
Harrison walks back to the line. Play clock's at 18.
Trips at the top of your screen. Linkhart is at the bottom. Firebirds showing the blitz.
Play clock is down to 8, and Centerville's going to call a timeout with 5 left on the play clock.
That is a huge timeout that they had to use there. I feel like they were trying to get them off sides, though. I feel like they planned to use the timeout if they didn't get the play offsides. They did the same thing to him earlier, actually. They've been doing it a lot this game. After the first offsides call, though, Fairmont kind of started catching on, feigning the blitz after they fake cut it.
Fairmont leading 28-20. 1:12 left in the game. Centerville with 1 timeout. Fairmont with none. 4th and 1 here for the Elks, just a yard away from midfield.
And down by 8. They need to
need
throw
a
the whole
touchdown.
kitchen sink at them.
Touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it up here in Centerville.
And the most exciting thing about this game, Jared, is the fact that we know Centerville can get a touchdown at any time with this explosive offense. It's just a matter of Harrison's accuracy, the offensive line creating space, and the wide receivers getting separation. Trips at the bottom.
Harrison's going to hand it off to McMahon. He's going to keep it, and he will get the first down across the 50.
Zach Snodgrass barely missing that tackle, and they're keeping it going. I've never seen a play run that long in high school football after they get wrapped up. They were seeing what the Piles could do. That did work out for Fairmont, though. Ended up running the clock a few extra seconds.
Under a minute left, 57 seconds left. Centerville has to score and go for 2.
Biggest game of this young man's career. We're going to be watching him playing college football one day, and he's down 8 right now.
Harrison back to pass. He's going to take it, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield by the Firebirds.
The sack, number 10, Evan Overholzer, has been a role player for the past few years.
43.7 seconds left. And Centerville takes the final timeout, and Harrison
Chase Harrison is on the ground.
This is not good for well, he's up now.
This could be the biggest play of the game. If Chase Harrison cannot continue, you might as well wrap up this game, Jared. He's been barely able to find his receivers through this rain tonight. You throw in a backup quarterback, I'm not sure. Right now they're feeling out his knees, but this young man is a prodigy. We've never seen a quarterback like this. Even at Centerville, we haven't seen a quarterback like since day one take over the team like this. This is Centerville's entire future laying on the ground, getting his knee checked right now.
The only other quarterback the Elks have listed is number 81, Matthew Gravlin.
Yeah, he is the star defensive back. He's a rather smaller frame.
Harrison's going to walk off the field.
And that's great to see on both sidelines, Jared. You never want to see a young man like that go down.
And to point it out, Centerville called the timeout, so he can come back in on this play.
Got you. So they used his time. They used their timeout instead of an injury timeout, and I think he'll come straight back out. Jared.
Yeah, he didn't walk to the sideline. He went right back to the huddle. 43.7 seconds left. Centerville down 8 at the 47. You see both sides pumping up their crowds as the rain continues to fall here in Centerville.
We'll see this defense come back out after Evan Overholzer made the play of his career, sacking Chase Harrison on first down.
Harrison back to pass. Harrison's going to tuck it. He's going to roll. He's going to launch it, and it's out of bounds with 38 seconds left. It's going to be 3rd and 12 from the 49.
And the Firebirds season, and this is, I don't even want to say that, this is bigger than the Firebirds season, Jared. This is 20 years of frustration, 20 years of almost making it.
21 years since the Firebirds last defeated the Elks, and we're 38 seconds away from maybe looking at history.
And I asked Dave Miller before the game if these guys understood what this game meant to both programs, and he said, yeah, I have a pretty good feeling they do.
And the team came out and proved it from the beginning. Harrison back to pass. Harrison's going to roll to the right, being chased
Avoiding
by
the
Trey
blitz.
Baker. Throws it downfield, and it is hauled in
my goodness!
by Cameron Smith.
I have no words, Jared. Centerville Elks are surging down the field in a no huddle. 29 seconds left. They're waiting to set the change. I think Harrison may spike it right now.
29.5 seconds left. Harrison under center, and he spikes it. 26.8 seconds left.
Cameron Smith, my player to watch. You just watched him surge down the field, catch it above two Centerville Elk Fairmont Firebird defenders. Oh my god, I'm lost for words.
26.8 seconds left. Centerville at their own, or at the 15.
This amazing game continues. Firebirds will have to be
Harrison back to
airtight.
pass, rolling it to the end zone. Linkhart, and it's intercepted by the Firebirds!
What a finish to the game!
Fairmont intercepts it with 28 points, or 20.8 seconds left. Elks are out of timeouts.
And that was a lob up to Will Jackson Linkhart. Garrett Danielson, what an end to the senior's career. He has 3 games after this, but I bet he does not care anymore. MVCC Game of the Week replay. Harrison throws it just short. I felt like he thought the lob was going to go better than it did, but he was way short. Garrett Danielson waiting for the interception. Here it is again, folks, straight into his hands. And we say this so much in this game, and we say it over and over again, Jared, but that was the biggest play of this young man's career. He is going to be held up. They're going to plant a tree for him at Fairmont High School. Garrett Danielson making what could be a game-sealing interception. And 0 timeouts left, 1 kneel left.
Hillen's going to kneel it. And that one is going to do it for the first time in 21 years. The Fairmont Firebirds defeat the Centerville Elks.
And oh my goodness, how can we go through the big plays that altered this game, Jared? There's not enough time to.
There's not enough time, but I think we probably can figure out who our player of the game is. I think it's going to have to be Malik Hillen.
What a player.
2 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown on the night.
And there's 5 candidates that you could easily pick and not hesitate, Jared. What a game. MVCC Game of the Week number 7, or should I say MVCC Game of the Year
for 2019.
Oh
Fairmont,
my goodness.
Fairmont holds on and stuns the Elks 28-20 in a rainy night in Centerville. For the rest of the Miami Valley Communications crew, the kids from West Carrollton and Fairmont High School, this one is definitely one of the better ones we've had in quite a long time. Fairmont wins 28-20.
And sadly, that's all, folks.
on one.
Quick slant out. And another incomplete pass intended there to number 2, Jake Kenner.
Yeah. If you're the Eagles, you have to get up on this defensive play and force the quarterback to make an error.
Excellent. You got the ball in. Nicely done. Pretty three. Go to 3.
By Bell. Bell breaks 2 tackles.
It's all you 3.
Bell's
Nicely
out.
done. Oh,
Bell
he should have
picks up
stayed
a
there.
flag.
Keep balling them back 3.